Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for this week's NXT and AEW. And I gotta tell you, I am super distracted because I was sitting here just setting the stream up and it was pretty much done. There's just a few little things I needed to tweak and change. And I just turned the TV on so that we're ready for NXT when it starts. And baseball is on TV. I don't think I've ever seen baseball on TV before here in the UK. Like, this has really thrown me off. Like, I'm sure it has been shown. I'm sure it's been shown. But yeah, I mean, now the baseball has restarted. For some reason, it's on my TV. And I'm amazed. I could legit sit here and just watch this baseball. I'm really like, wow. It's not something I can ever remember seeing on TV before. I can never, certainly like before wrestling or anything like this. So we've got the ARIs taking on Texas, the TEX, the D-backs. What are they? No idea. The D-backs. The D's are back. D's are back. So we've got the D's back. That's good. I missed them. So the D's are back, and we've got Texas. But yeah, that's crazy. And they've got, obviously, I don't know if you've heard, but they've got the cardboard cutouts in the stands behind of people because there's no crowd. So they've got a few cardboard cutouts of people in the stands. But by and large, it's obviously an empty arena at the moment. So. Yeah, look, I don't know anything about baseball. My baseball knowledge is non-existent. I know Babe Ruth, and I think there's someone called Trout, Fish, Cod. I don't know. It's someone, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. That's as far as my knowledge goes. And DJ B Tazzy, I know, does something to do with them. So. Yeah, getting distracted, but hello. Right, shout out Days, Roddy Strong, Johnny Wrestling tonight. Yeah, we've got quite a bit to talk about tonight. Both shows have actually come out with loads of matches for tonight, so there's loads to get excited about. Days, Arizona. Oh, okay, thank you. Arizona Diamondbacks. It's kind of a cool name, isn't it? I did just on the shirt. It just said D-backs. Yeah, I've got to tell you, this is amazing for me because I don't really understand baseball. I have actually been. This is amazing. I've been to a baseball game. I went to Canada when I was young, and I ended up going and seeing the Toronto Blue Jays play in Toronto, and I hadn't got a clue what was going on. But I just sat there kind of cheering, and I don't know who won, but I was very happy. So that's all that matters. And yeah, this is really... I could sit here quite happily right now, yeah, watching this, learning a bit about it, getting ready for like NXT and whatever. So honestly, the first time I think I've seen it on TV here in the UK. So very, very cool. But we're not going to let that distract us. We are going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about what we've got lined up tonight because we've got two big shows tonight. Not really big in the way of this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen. Big in the sense of, wow, we've got just so many matches, so much to talk about. So, yeah, we will go through it all. Of course, we will chat as well. Shout out to everyone that's joining us. Everyone that's in the chat. I can see Swamp Manor, and I can see Austin316 and Freak Official and Wrestling Days Fan and Robin813 and Jerry Smith and Stephen Bauer and Angelo, and the list goes on. But let's go through NXT. Let's start with NXT. So we've got Imperium. It's funny, actually. We were only talking about them the other day. We were talking about Imperium, and we were like, where have they gone? So Imperium are going to be on the show. So we've got Imperium around. We've got Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Jake Atlas. We've got, obviously, what you can see behind me, Finn Balor taking on Dexter Lumis and Timothy Thatcher. The winner will go to NXT TakeOver 30 in that ladder match for the North American Championship. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Lumis is going to be the one that advances there. I know a lot of you are going to want Finn Balor, but I think they can do something else with Finn Balor. So I would really like Lumis to win that North American Championship. That's why I want him to go through. Keith Lee is going to address Karrion Kross, and surely that's the match we're getting at TakeOver 30. It does seem a little quick, but I'm all right with it. The only downside is who wins. Do you know what I mean? Like Karrion Kross, this unstoppable force, taking on Keith Lee, who's only just become champ. He's only just managed to defeat Adam Cole. So what are you going to do? How are you going to book it? Are you going to put the title onto Karrion Kross? Just keep that momentum going, you know? Or are you going to give Keith Lee a decent title run? So it's a hard one to book that. If I was booking it, I think I'd put the title onto Karrion, if I'm being honest. I think keep the momentum going with Karrion Kross. Have an epic match, and I don't even know how you would book the finish, but I think the end result is that Karrion Kross comes out with the title. You know, because Keith's just given one away. He's just given one away. And now imagine if he loses the only other one that he's got, and now he's Keith no belts again. So I think I'd go that way. Mercedes Martinez taking on Shotzi Blackheart. Of course, Mercedes Martinez is now part of the Robert Stone brand. We've got Roderick Strong taking on Johnny Gargano, which should be an incredible match. I feel like we have seen them face each other a few times before, but it never disappoints. And then I think the show is opening with a women's tag match. Tegan Nox and Io Shirai taking on Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae. So that is NXT. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things there. 7 things that we already know about. It's pretty much the show. Put in the adverts and we're done. So, yeah, NXT looking stacked. Austin 316 says, I'm fine if Keith Lee beats Karrion Kross. Wrestling Days fan says that match should be good. Freak Official says when Drago killed Creed, Rocky beat Drago. Kross killed Dijakovic. Lee will beat Kross. I like that. I want Kross to be champ. Carter asks, when is TakeOver? That's a good question. I don't actually know off the top of my head, so let me search for you. Let me find you. Where are you? NXT TakeOver 30. Here we go. TakeOver 30 is August 22nd, so the day before SummerSlam. So according to Wikipedia, it is going to be at Full Sail. I don't know if they've announced that or not. I mean, it would make sense that it is, because obviously I don't know where else they could have it. But if WWE are going to put SummerSlam on a boat or are going to put a ring on a beach, if you like it, then you better put a ring on it. Then maybe they do it at that same venue, you know, because if you think about it, they do tend to use the same venue as SummerSlam when they do the takeover. So they'll do the takeover on the Saturday or the Friday, and then they'll do the it tends to be the Saturday, and then they'll do the SummerSlam on the Sunday, and it tends to be in the same building like Barclays or Staples Center. So if they are going to put it on a boat, there's a good chance that TakeOver could be on a boat as well. Or if they are going to put it on a beach, then it could be that it's on a beach as well. So at the moment, it's Full Sail, but I don't know. Is it going to stay that way? I don't know. It's a weird world we're living in. WWE are once again copying AEW with a boat. Who said that? Swamp Manor, shout out to you. Miss Clown 1, hello, hope you are well. Angelo says Drew versus Orton. Yes, we got that at SummerSlam. Shout out to Elaine. John is fighting today. Well, here we go. Let's go through the AEW lineup. AEW, Cody taking on Warhorse. Now, what's really interesting about this is I haven't seen loads of Warhorse, but he's a name that I am familiar with. He is a massive name on the indie scene. And to put into context how big this guy is, there's a game called Retro Mania Wrestling, and they did a competition where I think they had something like 30 independent wrestlers, and they did this massive competition. The winner would be added to the game, and Simon from What Culture was one of them. And there was a few names from NWA, I think, a few names from MLW. Like, they just got the biggest independent names. Warhorse won. So Warhorse has got such a strong following that he managed to beat all these other indie stars to get into that game. And apparently AEW have been overwhelmed with the requests for Warhorse. It's why they're announcing him in advance. So, you know, it would be normally a case where Cody will say, I'm taking on a mystery opponent, and then they'll bring out someone. They're not doing that this time because there's been so many people asking for Warhorse that that's why they're announcing it. So Cody versus Warhorse, I'm really looking forward to that match tonight. I want to see what the hype's about, because whenever I've watched him, I've thought that he's good, but he's not someone that it's like, wow, we've got to get this guy into WWE, or we've got to get this guy into AEW. Like, I want to see like on this stage, what can he do? So I'm really looking for, out of all the matches tonight, that might be the one. It's either Balor, Lumis, and Thatcher, or it's Cody and Warhorse. It's one of those two that they're probably going to put them on at the same time as well, which is going to be super annoying. But yeah, I'm really intrigued by that match. We've got Hangman Page and Kenny Omega putting the titles up against Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. We've got Hikaru Shida taking on Diamante. This is non-title. We've got Darby Allin and Jon Moxley taking on Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. I don't get this next one. MJF is going to give a State of the Industry promo. What's a State of the Industry promo? I don't know what that means. Is he going to talk about demographics again and things like this? I don't know what a State of the Industry promo is. And then we've got Best Friends and Orange Cassidy and Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy taking on Jericho, Hager, Santana, Ortiz, and Sammy Guevara. So a big match there. Load of baby faces taking on the Inner Circle. So there we go. Even more stuff announced. So NXT's got a stack of stuff that's been announced. AEW has got a stack of stuff that's been announced. And obviously, you know, there's news and rumors all the time as well. And we're sneaking our way towards SummerSlam and NXT Takeover and is it All In or All Out this year? Or Shake It All About. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm going to have a look. Luke's World says, Days, me and my girlfriend are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of being together. Yes. Shout out to you, Luke's World. Many congratulations, my friend. Many congratulations. That's cool, man. Very, very cool. Right, I'm looking to see, is it All In or is it All Out? All Out says 2019. So is it All In this year? Are they doing All In 1 year, All Out the next year? No, I think it must be All Out. Have they even announced it? All Out AEW. 2020, is it? Let's put 2020 on. Let's see what that brings up. I think it is All Out. Yes, All Out is on the 5th of September, so it's a little bit further away. There, All Out this year. Perhaps it's going to be All Out every year. Perhaps they're going All Out. All In was just the first one. And we're still waiting for All Shake It All About. Right, let's try and jump down on the chat a little bit. Still getting super distracted by the baseball. I'm not going to lie. There's 3 little diamonds that are like lit up in the corner. So I don't know if that means we've unlocked a superpower or something. So I'm keeping an eye on that. My girlfriend and I are going to watch NXT, says Cameron Edwards. Chalmers says, no, All Out this show is in September. You are correct. All Out is on at the same time as UFC. Oh, that's going to hurt. Is All Out AEW's equivalent of WrestleMania? Yes, I would say so. Yes. I kind of feel, like they've got a couple of big ones. And I think for me, it was All In that started AEW. And that's the show that kind of really put them on the map. The success of that show is what brought in Tony Khan. Because Tony Khan, I don't believe, was on board for that first show. I think he was in the crowd. He may have given them some financial support. I'm not sure. But I know it was after that show he approached them and said, like, would you like to do something like TV-wise and take this to the next level? And so because of the history of it, I always see it as their big show, yes. So All Out, I think, is their WrestleMania. But you've got like Double or Nothing, which was their first show when they really got started. So I kind of see Double or Nothing as like their SummerSlam, if you will, even though I think it's at a completely different time. But I mean it in the sense of I think that's their like second biggest show. So I think All Out and Double or Nothing are the big two powerhouses. So yeah, very cool. The only way for Kross to look strong and for Lee to retain is that they break the ring like Brock and Big Show, says Andres. Do you remember that Britt Baker will be back for All Out? Ah, yes, you're right, Heather. You're right. I do remember that now. Double or Nothing is their biggest show, says Rockstar Anch. What's your favourite figure coming out soon, says Terrence. Probably the Fiend Ultimate Edition. I said that I felt that the Fiend Elite figure was very good, but I felt they could do better, and then they went and did better. So the Ultimate Edition Fiend looks stunning. I mean, you're going to drown in Fiend figures and Bray figures and Funhouse figures, and that's no bad thing. There's going to be absolutely tons of them. So I do think that you're going to see lots of different versions and lots of different like ring attires and any little tweaks they can do to get another one on the shelf. So yeah, they are doing the Elite. You've got the Funhouse set coming to ringside. You've got the Funhouse Bray Basic that's coming out. You've got the Fiend Ultimate Edition that's coming out. And there'll be plenty of others. But, man, that Fiend Ultimate Edition looks absolutely stunning. Looks brilliant. Gronk and Pat McCarthy might as well tag team. Should Roddy and Johnny become a tag team? No. I kind of think that Roddy would keep it in-house, wouldn't he? He'd keep it Undisputed Era. It might seem a bit strange if Roddy went and started teaming with someone that's not in the Undisputed Era. So I think if he was going to team with anyone, it would be Bobby Fish or Kyle O'Reilly or Adam Cole. He's not stuck for options. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say he won't. Do you like Sammy Guevara? I do. Yeah, I think Sammy Guevara's a big talent. He's someone that I think is going to really come into his own in like a few years' time. He's not someone that I necessarily enjoy that much at the moment, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think that he's quite... He strikes me as a bit young. He strikes me as a little bit slimy and a bit swarmy. And, I mean, in fairness, he is a heel. So, as a heel, that's perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. But he's not someone that's going out and giving us, like, great matches. He's not quite like, say, Seth. Seth, when he was a heel, was still giving us, like, really strong matches. Not so much now. His gimmick's not brilliant now. But he's still, can still go out there and give us great matches. We've seen glimpses of that from Sammy. I kind of feel like Sammy is Tyler Black. Do you know what I mean? Like, he can give you some really good moments, but he's not quite the finished article. Whereas, we've got Seth Rollins now, who's a little bit more TV polished, if you will, and can give us great matches, but can give us great promos as well. He can carry a faction. He can be part of a faction. He can be part of the Authority. He can stand on his own, like Monday Night Rollins. And look, I'm comparing Sammy to Seth. That's how great I think Sammy is going to be. But I just don't think he's quite there yet. So, but it's cool, man. It's cool watching his development, and he's kind of sitting under the learning tree at the moment, isn't he? He's kind of hanging out with Jericho, which is no bad thing. So, I do like him. What is your favourite AEW or WWE rivalry, says Aiden's Toys. Shout out to you. Aiden's Toys. I think my favourite rivalry might be Big Swole and Britt Baker. I love it. I'm so invested. I'm so on board. I really love it. I think it's got comedy, but I think it can be serious as well. I think that Britt Baker's like really funny. I think that Big Swole is like doing some really good stuff. I mean, I think it's putting both of them over. I think Britt Baker wasn't really working as a face. She's brilliant as a heel. I think Big Swole is someone I've always been interested in, so it's great to see her getting something to get her teeth into. So I really like it, and the fact that we've not even got to a match yet, the fact that all of this has just been promos and things like that, I think is brilliant. I think it's really exciting as well to see how well AEW use someone that's injured, because she's injured, and AEW have used her brilliantly. If this was WWE, you wouldn't have seen Britt Baker. She just wouldn't have been on TV. But AEW have used her and used her in a really interesting way. So I think AEW, because they've got Being the Elite and they've got AEW Dark and they've got Dynamite, they've got all this programming. I think they know that they can still get something out of the performers, you know. So whereas WWE, it's just like, right, you know, they've got 1 million people on the books, so if someone gets injured, they'll just use the time for someone else. So I think I found it funny. I found it interesting. I think it's a spotlight on new talent. I think it's great to see that someone injured can still be showcased. So for me, that feud, it might seem a weird answer, but it ticks a load of boxes. Like, really does tick a load of boxes. I think the Jericho Orange Cassidy one has been pretty good as well. Outside of that, I can't really think of anything in AEW that's really grabbing me at the moment, like feud-wise. Brian Cage, Moxley just hasn't really landed for me, if I'm being honest. And the biggest feud for like the tag team titles seems to be the potential split between Hangman and Kenny, or Kenny and Hangman maybe leaving the Elite, maybe both of them going. So it seems like they've got more inner turmoil, which is very interesting, but it's not, I don't know that it's a feud at the moment. So yeah, that's why I'm going to say Big Swole and Britt Baker. In regards to NXT, don't know, I can't really think, there's not really much happening in the women's division that I'm that into. I suppose Dakota Kai, Io Shirai has got potential. Dakota Kai, Io Shirai. Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, I think is interesting. But I'm not like totally on board the Karrion Kross hype train. I think he's got a good entrance, but I don't know. I need more than a good entrance. He's got a decent look. He's got a good entrance. I haven't really seen much in the way of his matches because his matches have been very, very short. So, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? The jury is still very much out. I can't wait to see him against Keith Lee, because you know that's going to be a long match. So I want to see if this is the guy, right? If this is the guy and they're going to put the title on him real quick, or give him that real quick opportunity at the title. They've built him up. They've built him up well. I love the hourglass. I think Scarlett looks awesome. I think he's got a lot going for him. Give me the match now. Give me the killer match. Give me that match that's going to make me go, wow, this is the guy. This is the guy. Because, I'm kind of in that neighborhood. I can see the entrance. I can see his look. I can see him and Scarlett. And I can see the appeal. But I just want to see the great match now. That's what I want to see. So, and maybe that'll be him against Keith. NXT TakeOver 30. So, there's some really interesting stuff going on at the moment. Some really interesting stuff. Wrestling Days fan says, I can't wait for Keith Lee versus Karrion. Asuka, hello. If you was a wrestler, what would your gimmick be? I honestly, I would be doing something similar to like R-Truth or something like that. I think I would be keeping out of the way. I'd be like, I think I'd be more on the comedy side of things, because quite clearly I'm not going to be on the Karrion Kross side of things. Could you imagine me turning up and anyone being scared? The only person that would be scared would be me. So if I was, I'd be a bit more like R-Truth, comedy, running away, trying to get out of matches. That's what I'd be doing. They'd be putting me into matches, and I'd be trying to find ways to get out of them. That would be my gimmick. I think him and Lee will be exactly that, says Jake. Yeah, I hope so. I think you're right. I've got high hopes for it. I'm not down on Karrion at all. I'm just being very honest where I am with him, and that is I'm not like totally sold at the moment. Just because I want that match. Keith versus Kross is like a boxing heavyweight match. Yeah, I can see that. It is like two big heavyweights colliding. And I think that's really exciting. So, yeah, I agree. Chalmers, hello. Who's your favourite wrestling powerhouse of all time? Well, there's two names that come to mind, and that would be Bruno Sammartino and Brock Lesnar. And honestly, outside of that, I'm not sure there's really anyone that can stack up, like, power-wise. I mean, obviously, Davey Boy was known for his strength, and the Warrior was known for his strength. But for me, Bruno, I mean, I've been very vocal about my love for Bruno Sammartino. One of the things that really fascinates me about him is the fact that he was so dominant for so long, and people just don't know that much about him. Now, granted, in recent years, they know a little more because he kind of came back to WWE and he went in the Hall of Fame, and then, of course, he passed away. So people know a bit more about Bruno in recent times, but it's one of those, like, when you're growing up and you see it on TV, Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and all this, they never spoke about Bruno, mainly because he was on the out with them, like, he'd fallen out, and I think he'd even, like, took him to court and stuff like this, so sued him and everything. So there was real bad blood. So, it was really, really interesting that I was growing up and there was this mega champion. He'd been champion for 11 years. At one point, he was champ for 7 years running. He was WWE champion for 7 years in a row, unbeaten, in the 60s. And he was never mentioned. He was like this great champion that was never mentioned. So I was fascinated by him when I found out about him. And so obviously I, would look him up, read as much as I could about him, watch what I could about him, and just learn about him and his backstory and everything and all that kind of stuff. It's just fascinating. He's so strong. So strong. He had like bench pressing records and all this. Incredible guy. So, Bruno for me is up there, and Brock, I mean, just because of what Brock has achieved, UFC heavyweight champ, NCAA wrestling champ, New Japan champion as well, tried his hand at American football, and he's done so much, so dominant, such a genetic freak, that you've got to include him. And I suppose you have to mention Mark Henry, because he is legit, the world's strongest man. I love that story where he went to the Olympics and he was the world's strongest man. And then he joined WWE, and obviously, a few years passed and he didn't have the records anymore. But he was still calling himself the world's strongest man. And the world's strongest man community were like throwing a bit of shade at him because he was still saying he was the world's strongest man, but he wasn't, or at least they didn't think he was. And so he turned around and he was like, okay, well, Vince, I need to go and prove that I still am, because I still am. Just because I don't have the record doesn't mean I'm not the world's strongest man. And Vince turned around to him and said, okay, well, you can do that, but you need to know that if you're not the world's strongest man, you can't come back. Like, you are putting your job on the line. You can stay here and just keep saying that you're the world's strongest man. That's fine. But if you go and try and prove it and it turns out you're not, then I've got no room for the second or the third strongest man. I need the world's strongest man. And Mark Henry took the gamble. Mark Henry went and actually competed, knowing that if he failed, he was not only no longer the world's strongest man, but he was out of the WWE. So think of that pressure. But he went and he did it and he won. And then he came back. And I love that story. So that's a great question, Chalmers. So I would include Mark Henry for that reason. And again, you know, he retold that story on the Stone Cold thing. And if you've not seen it, check it out. It's brilliant. Right, we've got, 28 minutes to go till we get to NXT and AEW tonight. The Mountain wins all those titles. Also, there's a guy that just deadlifted 1105. His name wasn't Mark Henry. Yeah, I mean, it depends what record you're going for. Because obviously you've got like squats and you've got deadlift, and there's lots of different ways of, you know, being the world's strongest man, because there's lots of different disciplines. Mark Henry actually achieved it at the Arnold Classic, which is, you know, part of the world's strongest man scene. And his achievements were done there in front of that crowd, and so that was it. You know, he was recognized as being a leader in his field. I mean, it's a bit murky, I do agree, because, as we said, there's so many different disciplines and so many different ways. I mean, is it a case that you just go up and pick up the strongest weight, well, and then you claim that you're the world's strongest man? Well, what about bench press? I mean, if you can bench press, then surely you can also claim that you're, you know, the world's strongest man. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. But legit, he went and he did it, and he won over the world's strongest man community. The Mountain is very impressive. Very impressive. I don't know if he competed in the same competition as Mark Henry. I don't even know if he was competing at the time. So I think Mark Henry would struggle these days, but I'm not so sure he's going around calling himself the world's strongest man right now. This was, 10 years ago or so? 10 years ago. So, yeah, I don't even know if Mountain was on the same scene or not. But I do know that the Arnold Classic is, you know, part of the makeup of the world's strongest man community, as is the world's strongest man competition, because they've got a few that they do around the world. There's kind of like a circuit that they do. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. Listening to him talk was fascinating about it. And I think they tried to reach out to, there's a guy from the UK that was the world's strongest man. He won the world's strongest man competition, I want to say in like 2018, called Eddie Hall. And he said that WWE had reached out to him. So clearly WWE are still looking at these competitions and looking to bring people in if they think they can do something. So Swamp Manor says, Days, rate the Adam Cole, Pat McCarthy work out of 10. I thought what they did on the show was like a 8.75. Like, I thought that it was good. There's loads of people that saw it and bought it, which is what you want. And I thought that as a clip, it kind of took social media by storm, and everyone was talking about it, and the guys were trending. So I think you'd have to look at it and say that it worked and it was a success. And yeah, and it went well. I mean, for me, 10 out of 10. I think the only things that I would really change was, it seemed to me like Adam Cole like really blew up over his height, and to me, it just I looked at it and kind of felt like it wasn't. He wouldn't. I just didn't feel that he would react that way over such a comment. So I think I would have changed why he. I think him actually blowing up and going mental at Pat. That was 10 out of 10. Like, that was great. There was nothing wrong with that. When he pushes the producer and he's swearing at Pat and he's knocking things over and he's storming out, it's like, that was really good. For me, the only thing that I'd nitpick, if you will, is the reason why he blew up. I don't like the fact that it was over his height, because you're kind of doing a real disservice to Adam Cole. Who's like, the longest reigning NXT champ. He's going to go on to become a great WWE superstar. You'd expect him to go to Raw, SmackDown real soon. So for them to bring up something to do with his height, that's the kind of thing that can stick, because now you might have a few people that look at him and see him as being small. And it's like, I don't know if that was worth it, to be honest. Of all the things that they could have done it over, I'm not sure I would have gone that way, because I never looked at Adam Cole and thought he was small, but there's a chance I'll look at him now and, that'll play in my mind. So I wasn't a big fan of that. And I wasn't, as I said, a big fan of that being the reason why Adam Cole kind of exploded. I mean, maybe I needed to watch the whole show. Maybe there's a whole backstory that I'm not aware of, but hey, look, take nothing away. I thought it was very good. About an 8.75, something like that. Like, really took social media by storm. So they did good. Daze, what's your favourite character in NXT right now? I do like Lumis. I think Lumis is very fascinating. There's an image. It might be behind me actually, where Lumis has got like the butcher's kind of apron on, which looks really, really cool. So I like that look. He's got that Dexter vibe, hasn't he? Where he's kind of very prim and proper. There's not a hair out of place, and I like the gloves and just the music and the staring and even the moustache. So I do like Dexter Lumis at the moment. Do you think AEW should do cinematic matches? AEW cinematic matches? Yes and no. Yes and no. I think, well, they kind of did one with the Stadium Stampede. I mean, a cinematic match is something that you would go back and refilm, or you would you'd edit in some way. And the Stadium Stampede was not filmed in just one continuous go with like cameras following everyone around. My understanding was that they filmed a section and then they went and did a different thing. Right, we're going to do a bar section now. So, they did Omega and they did Hangman, and they took a camera and they did something over there. And then, they would film Hardy. But it's not as if this was actually all happening at the same time. So I'm under the impression the Stadium Stampede was cinematic. And it's not just a case that it was all happening and they were just changing cameras. Because that'd be kind of crazy timing-wise. Do you know what I mean? Like, timing-wise, they would have to make sure they finished fighting just as that one started. So I'm under the impression they just filmed them as separate things and then edited it together. I think that if you... I think we've seen the best and the worst. For me, I think cinematic matches is something I'm really into. I really love the idea of them, because what you're doing is you're taking the action out of the ring, and I think that's quite exciting, because I think there's a lot of love. I keep coming back to Stone Cold Booker T. I mean, that is it for me. That is a cinematic match. Stone Cold and Booker T fighting in the supermarket. Amazing. Brilliant. They're talking trash to each other. There's witty little one-liners. They're grabbing products and hurling them at each other. And there's so much love for that segment, because it's a fight, it's a brawl, but it's in a different environment. It's down the shops, and it's it's great. And for me, the Boneyard was like that as well. It was a fight, it was a brawl, but in a different environment. It's definitely things I would have changed. I don't think that I would have had, maybe the pyro and the big Undertaker sign. And because why was that Undertaker sign there? What, did he set it up? Did he go and set it up and then leave? And then when he came back, he had... I just didn't... there's things about that match that you kind of have to suspend disbelief about, if you will. You didn't have to do that with the Stone Cold Booker T thing so much. So I feel like there's some really good things about the cinematic matches, and I think there's some things that can just go too far. I mean, everyone knows my hatred, my loathing of Matt Hardy changing his clothes in the water. I just think that's too far. And yeah, it's just like, I think it could be really good. I would love to see fighting in like a shopping centre. Like a zombie film where you've got an abandoned shopping centre. I would love that. And I think you could do like a really good women's match there, Someone like, I don't know, like someone like Lacey Evans that's really into fashion. Like Lacey Evans could challenge someone to like a shopping centre brawl, and then just get a shopping centre that's either like closed down at the moment or something like that, rent it out, and just start going, crazy in a shopping centre and just have a brawl and like fighting in the fountains. And I just feel like there's a lot that they could explore. So in regards to like, could AEW do stuff like that? Yeah, absolutely they could. I'm not sure. I can't think off the top of my head. I feel like Darby Allin in a skate park makes so much sense. I don't know why they've not done it yet. So Darby Allin in like a skate park is a must. And I think that could be really good as well. I kind of like the idea of like his mates that he hangs out with and skates, just kind of like maybe sitting at the top of a half pipe and just kind of watching as there's like a fight that's going on in this skate park. And then like, you could have Darby skating up on the sides, and, Jericho or whoever's like standing there as like Darby's kind of like whizzing past. And I kind of feel like they could do some really exciting stuff with that. So yeah, I like them. I think there's some pitfalls to them as well. Man, we've only got about 17 minutes. Chalmers says they would probably do that with like Lacey and Naomi. Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I feel like you could probably come up with a good cinematic match for like a lot of different characters, You could kind of go down the list. I mean, you could do like Randy Orton in like some kind of a Viper Pit match or something, I mean, like, depends how far you want to go. It depends how... We had the Wyatt Swamp, and I think the build to that, people were on board. And I think by and large, people enjoyed the match. I did see a bit of a backlash to that one as well. Again, it's where they go too far. I think the backlash to that was Braun beating up Braun, and the fact that there was a promo, and like there was quite a long promo during this match, and the fact that there wasn't really a finish. It's like, I think officially Bray won, but did he win? I don't know. I don't know. They both drowned as far as I saw. So I liked it. I thought it was decent. I thought it was like a fight in the swamp. So I was on board. But there's still things about it I would have changed. But yeah, it's been interesting. It has been interesting. Shout out to Jeremy, who has joined us. Really appreciate the support, my friend. So shout out to you, man. Thank you, Jeremy. Days, when I left my house today, there was a crash. Wow, sorry to hear that. We unfortunately have quite a few crashes. There's quite a dangerous road at the top of where we live. They kind of race around quite quick, and quite often that road's closed off and people have misjudged the bend and whatever. So yeah, it can be moody, man. Who is the best female wrestler, says Alvin. Let me know in the chat, who do you think's the best female wrestler? I always think this is a very interesting question because I think people look for different things. I look for like, the standard stuff: character, promo, in-ring style. And for me, it's Asuka. I mean, I'm a massive Asuka fan, and there's a reason for that. And it's, I think the big negative that Asuka always had was her promos. Her English was not great. Whenever she'd cut a promo, it would just be her shouting in Japanese. But what's happened in 2019, and we've seen throughout 2020, is she started to bring in, she'll shout Japanese but throw in the odd English line now. And that's not something we've really seen before, and it's really taken her promos now to the next level. Even just her, talking Japanese and then going, Becky, Becky, Becky. Just something simple like that. It's it brings you into it. Her in-ring is incredible. Her in-ring work is, the best. And her character as well. She had the longest undefeated streak. I think she's got incredible ring attire. We talk about ring attire all the time, and black ring attire being a bit bland. Hers has always been very exciting with the mask and the big jacket, the kind of robe and the bright colours, and she's untouchable, man, for me, Asuka. Untouchable. Charlotte, says Swamp Manor. Asuka and Tessa, says Bobby. The Boss, says Trapster. James, says Bailey. WWE Freak Official, says Tessa. Kennedy, says Becky. Swamp Manor, says Charlotte. Trapster the Blue Pin. Kevin says, I think Asuka is hot. Ben says Ronda, which I can understand. Future Compilation says Asuka or Bailey. Freak Official says Ballyho to Mr. Rowe. Ballyho to Mr. Rowe? Why have I never thought of that before, Mr. Rotella? £10 podcast, shout out to you, says Thunder Rosa, of course, deserves a mention. Just haven't seen Thunder Rosa, have we? What with Power being down for so long, still one of my favourite women's matches of the year is Thunder Rosa against Allysin Kay. If you never saw that from Hard Times, I don't even know how you would see it now. I think you'd probably have to buy it on Fight, because I don't think it's on YouTube. But that would be cool, actually, if NWA would do that, if they would put that match up, because that match deserves more eyes on it. Thunder Rosa against Allysin Kay from Hard Times, I want to say around early February of this year. It was so good. Such a good match. Io Shirai, says LSW. Bobby AJ says, I hate NXT right now. They used to do such a good job in building matches and stories, and now they're just hot-shotting stuff with no follow-up. I agree. I don't think that's just an NXT problem. I think it's an AEW problem as well. I think that both companies are hot-shotting a lot of stuff. If you think about Brian Cage coming in and already having a shot at the title, and there's quite a lot of stuff that quite often, so many championship matches now, we're in danger of the titles kind of losing their impact. There's a lot of every week there's someone's doing a title match on one of the shows, pretty much every week. This week we've got the tag team titles on the line on AEW. It was only the other week we had the women's belt defended, and then we've had obviously Keith Lee against. It's every single Wednesday there seems to be a title match. So there's a lot of hot shotting that's going on at the moment. But I would say that's across both brands, but it's as they're competing with each other. The TNT title I'm all right with, because the whole purpose of that is to be defended on TV. So that's fine. I ain't got an issue with that. I think NXT used to be stronger with its stories before it was competing against AEW. And I would think AEW would be better if it wasn't competing against NXT. Honestly, both shows would be better. I think both shows would be better if they weren't competing with each other, which is such a shame. Such a shame. I think NXT's got a bigger problem, though, in that it needs some life. It desperately needs some life. It's just in this black void. They've got these performance center recruits that really don't offer anything in the crowd. They all seem to be half asleep I think they're genuinely exhausted. I think they're, doing Raw and SmackDown, and it's the same people. So they have to cheer on Raw, they have to cheer on SmackDown, they have to cheer on NXT. That's a lot, man. That's 7 hours a week. And sometimes they record like multiple shows at the same time. So, and they don't tend to give them a break. And those recordings overrun, and there's things that probably don't get used. And man, yeah, they're asking a lot of these people. And as a result, like the enthusiasm is lacking and everything. Plus, as I said, it's just like this dark void. There's not really anything interesting to look at. I wish they had some at like Lucha Underground or NWA Power. NWA Power's got a really cool studio set in that looks different. But it's decorated. It's got like the flags up above the ceiling. It's got the promo area in the corner. The crowd play a big part in the bleacher stands and everything. So, there's some interesting things that's there. It's a very unique feel. NXT just feels just black. Do you know what I mean? It's like purgatory. I feel like it's where people go when they're stuck between heaven and hell. Coffee and Wrestling says, Days, look at the amount of championship matches on Raw and SmackDown too. That problem is definitely on those shows as well. Yeah, they're desperate for ratings, aren't they? Wrestling is just so desperate at the moment. So desperate. Please love us. Please love us. Please watch us. Yeah, they are hot-shotting. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I suppose in a way the problem they've got is you can't slow build. What you used to be able to do is rely on your talent at the top to bring the viewers in and then slow build things underneath that. And you can't really do that at the moment because that talent at the top is not there. It's not there. Like, the champion on Raw is Drew. Right now, Drew is not a proven draw. If you think about what Drew was doing last year, even he said he had a bad 2019. This is the problem. You can't have this hot and cold booking because with Drew, he by his own admission, he had an awful 2019. So no one's going to really care about him, right? The casuals. Do you know what I mean? He's not got a name. It's not as if he was on all the talk shows. It's not as if he's got, like, he's not this massive brand that people were, like, desperately waiting to win the title. Granted, WWE fans, the core audience were on board with him winning. Not all of us. I was not. But, the majority were. But that's not going to bring in your extra viewers, the people that don't know about the show. You needed to build him up. You needed to be putting him out there on TV. There's not enough, like, mainstream exposure. They need to... This is why Regis was such a big thing. Regis passed away, and he did a lot for wrestling. He loved wrestling, and so he always had wrestlers on his shows. And you just don't see it anymore. I don't see him on late night anymore. I can't remember the last time anyone was on. I know not 2020 is a bad example because everyone's stuck at home, but like the last time a wrestler was on like Jimmy Fallon or I don't even know any of the other shows. Saturday Night Live. I just can't think of like seeing wrestlers being on those shows. But that's how you get them over with the casuals. And they need to be finding a way of getting some better relationships with other shows. Like, has USA Network not got any shows that they can have them on? What about Fox? Has Fox not got any shows? I don't know what's going on. What's going on? So, I kind of feel like they need to get him on other shows. But that's the problem. You got Drew, who doesn't really have that big name value, and Braun, who I would argue is the same. It's not as if you've got John Cena as the champ on Raw and Roman Reigns as the champ on SmackDown. That would be a very different story. You could kind of lean on them a little bit more. Which might be why you've got Randy Orton sniffing around. Randy Orton's been on the scene now for 17, 18 years. His casuals know of him. So putting the title on him probably makes a lot of sense right now. But it's very unfortunate for Drew. Very unfortunate because it's not his fault. It's not his fault. And trust me, if it was, I'd be the first to tell you because I wasn't really on board with him winning that title. Sean says, Days, on WWE Shop, they've got a Dexter Lumis driving the Undisputed Era tied-up picture that he drew. Ah, very cool. Is it just one or is it a print? I'm guessing it's a print. I would like for them to sell the actual ones that he draws. I think that would be really cool if they were to sell those. Eric Haberman, shout out to you, my friend. Wrestlers were on Fox for a little while in late 2019, but then COVID hit. Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that obviously this is a bad time for it as well. The pandemic is definitely causing problems. But, I mean, things like Stephen Colbert, for example, right? Stephen Colbert gets a lot of viewers and he has guests, but I never see anyone on his show. So even though he's doing stuff from home, I don't see any, I never see any wrestlers going on. This is my point. I mean, maybe they are and I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm just not seeing it. Days, do you think Bronson Reed will get a big push? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like there's always going to be people ahead of Bronson Reed. I think Bronson Reed's going to struggle to get past the likes of Karrion Kross. I think he's going to struggle to get past the likes of Johnny Gargano. I think he's going to struggle to get past the likes of Keith Lee, whilst all of those are in NXT. Once NXT kind of clears out some of that top talent, then yes. But I don't know that NXT are going to do that. And if they do that, I think that you've got to say there's a real good chance it actually gets replaced. NXT now, you know, is a third brand in a way. It's competing against AEW. Before, you know, they could clear out their top talent, send it to Raw and SmackDown, and then just start again. You know, go and get, you know, Kushida or someone, recruit a few people and start building up some stars. They can't really afford to do that now because if they've got a load of nobodies, well, how are they going to win a ratings war against AEW? So there's a chance that they lose Gargano, they lose Keith Lee, they lose Karrion Kross, but they end up getting Sami Zayn back and they end up getting, do you know what I mean, some other people. Maybe Daniel Bryan for a little bit, maybe Big Show for a little bit. Don't know. So yeah, I think when we do get a draft, it's going to be quite interesting as to how they, you know, use that as a brand going forward. Karrion Kross is going to suffer his first loss, says Kevin. William says it's Drew's fault because he squashes people. Drew needs to get on a few losing streaks and fight through and stage a comeback. AE Dub says Esteban. There were a couple of wrestlers on Jimmy Fallon and Colbert's show. I've not seen him on Colbert. I don't know that I've ever seen him on Colbert, so I mean I believe you, of course I believe you, but I honestly can't say I've seen it. Oh, I'll have a look. Right, we've got NXT about to begin. NXT is the better version of ECW, says Kevin. What do you think about Sasha and Bayley going after the NXT Women's Championship next? I think logistically that would make sense, and it would bring a real spotlight to NXT. I think Sasha and Bayley have always proved that they do bring ratings with them. So yeah, I think that would be a good thing for NXT to do. I know you'd have a lot of people saying like, oh, but you know, you're burying talent, or you're stopping Candice, or you're stopping Dakota, or you know, something like this, and I can understand that. But it's not working at the moment, is the truth. They've got Candice, they've got Dakota, and look at where the ratings are. So I think bring in Bayley, bring in Sasha, and try and build Dakota whilst having these around. Right, we've started anyway, my friends, and we've just got a video package of Karrion and Keith. The alarm. I can't hear the alarm, actually. I think I had my thing on mute. So I was spared the alarm tonight. Right, we've got Io on her way down. We knew that the women's tag match was going to be starting us off. Right, here we go. Here we go. Io Shirai. Oh, hello, Dakota Kai already beating up Io Shirai. Dakota Kai's come out. Tegan Knox. Dakota and Candice. So, hot start. Jericho's come down. So, it looks like we're going to be starting with the 10-man tag. Right, here we are. There's a lot of screaming and shouting. Okay, so Io Shirai and Tegan Knox versus Dakota Kai and Candice. That is starting us off on NXT. Over on AEW, we've got Inner Circle about to be taking on Best Friends and Jurassic Express. There we go. Freshly squeezed. Why did they change the Best Friends entrance? I'm not sure. Cover by Candice. So that match, we got Io Shirai's entrance music. That's as far as we got. And then everyone jumped and attacked, and things have settled down now. We have settled down into a proper tag match over on NXT. Henry J. Pitts, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate the support, man. I think for those that are members, I think we're going to look to do our first members stream probably Thursday of next week. I think that's kind of what I've got in my mind. So I think Thursday of next week we'll do a members stream. I'm not sure of the time yet. I'm going to have a look at it, but that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. So yeah, I said there'd be about a week's notice. So once I've got a better idea, I will put a little message out. So if you haven't joined yet and you're thinking of doing it and you haven't really missed a great deal yet, we're going to do our first stream probably at the end of next week. Down goes Dakota. Kicks coming in by Io Shirai. Io doing a little bit of trash talking to Dakota. Io going against the ropes. Nice swinging round. Arm drag. Basement drop kick by Io. Kip up by Io as well. Very good. Very, very good by Io Shirai. Do you like the new Scorpio Sky entrance? I have not seen it, if I'm being honest. Entrances are a little bit tricky for me because I always have to have the sound turned down. So I do tend to miss out when it comes to entrance music. We got Orange Cassidy in the ring with Jake Hager. I like Hager's ring attire. Hager's ring attire is like white shorts, knee pads. It's kind of a bit MMA. Hager's picked up Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy with a drop kick. Hager goes over to the corner. Io driving Candice back into the corner, and Dakota Kai's tagged in. So Candice and Dakota, snapmare by Dakota on. Io Shirai, 2. Shoulder up. Massive. Everyone's in the ring right now. Thank you, Kyrie, says Michael. Yes, thank you, Kyrie. Great move. Days, what's your thoughts on the Bumpy Awards? I never saw them. Some nice work there by Dakota using the ropes. No, I didn't see the Bumpy Awards. We did read out the nominations, but I didn't actually get round to seeing who had won. But someone pointed out, because it didn't stick out to me, but we actually read through the nominations, and Edge versus Orton was not up for Rivalry of the Year, which is kind of staggering. That was all right. I thought it was a bit botchy, but it was all right. Io slamming Dakota down face first. She's gone over and she's grabbed her by the hair, kind of stretching her arms back now. Luchasaurus calling in Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt is being picked up by Luchasaurus. Marco Stunt thrown on top of Jake Hager, who catches Marco. And what's he going to do now? Hager throws... What's going on? They're just throwing Marco Stunt around. Literally, he's just getting chucked about. Luchasaurus jumps onto the inner circle. So far, for me, I think the action from the women is better than what I'm seeing on AEW at the moment. I'm not a fan of these, you know, when everyone's on the outside and they're all standing there and someone then jumps like cross-body and everyone goes down like Skittles. I've never been a fan of that. NXT goes to break. We got Orange Cassidy in the ring. He's putting his glasses on. So Orange Cat will... I think everyone's getting back into the ring, and a big hug by Best Friends and Jurassic Express. This is the worst start to AEW I've ever seen, says Brent Lanning. Yeah, I gotta tell you, it is full-blown comedy stuff that they're doing here, yeah? It is a bit strange. It is a bit strange. It's not like this explosive hard hitting. There's a lot of standing around. Like, right now, there's a lot of them just standing in the ring, and they're all just kind of working on Sammy Guevara, whilst the rest of the inner circle are down outside the ring. So, yeah, I am being more drawn to NXT at the moment. We're already at a commercial, yeah. The day's broadcast is brought to you by Skittles. Yes. AEW is overrated, says Dave. Austin says, Dave in real life, let me tell you, the alarm stayed on longer. Okay. Ryan Reynolds, how is it cartoony? I've sent you the Bumpy Awards. Okay, thank you. Lone Star Friend says it's a disappointing AEW so far. Well, I mean, look, we're only 9 minutes in. Don't lose heart. Don't lose heart. Lauren says Asuka was playing the recorder at the end of the bump. Oh, okay. Well, that might be worth tuning in for. Henry said, Days, I've been watching you since the microwave video. That video. And I've enjoyed watching the streams. Keep it up. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining us. Really do appreciate the support, dude. Days, I think Braun deserves to be a champion. I think for me, it comes down to booking. I think I think there's a lot of people that deserve to be champion, but it's how you're booked. You know, I think it makes sense to build someone up and, you know, give them some wins in some good, compelling feuds, tell some good stories, and honestly, really try to get them out there. Try to get them onto different shows, not when they're champion, before they're champion. Get them over with the casual fans, you know? I mean, like, they should be doing so much with Otis right now. So much without Otis. But where is he? And I think he is going to be on SmackDown this week, but there's a lot of people asking, where's Otis gone? And it's like, he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, they should be building him up, pushing him to the moon. If you're going to put the briefcase on him, push him to the moon. You know, he needs to be going on talk shows. He needs to be going on different, you know, podcasts and just really getting out there. Going wherever casual fans are. trying to bring people back. It's no good doing it when they're champion. The problem with Braun is that he was never meant to be in that match at WrestleMania. It was meant to be Roman. So there was no building up of Braun. Braun was put in as a last-minute replacement. And he won the title because someone had to get the title off Goldberg. He won the title. And, you know, they've got themselves in a mess. That's the truth. They're in a mess. He was a last-minute replacement. He was never meant to be champion. Does he deserve to be champion? Yeah, I think he's got a good look. I think that he's, you know, he kind of had got to that main event point a few times before. But look, is he someone that's bringing in views? No. No. Because they've not done enough to get him as someone that brings in views. So they need to invest in them. They need to get them out there, you know. Against the ropes goes EO. Backflips, nice drop kick. Down goes Dakota Kai. Over on AEW, we've got everyone back up at the side of the ring. We've got a bit of normality returning now to AEW. Nice kick there by EO. EO really doing a lot of work in this match. Open palm strike to Candice, and Candice goes down. That was good from EO. EO, springboard, drop kick. 1, 2. Dakota Kai kicks out. Over on AEW, we got Sammy just tagging in Jake Hager. Even Edge was wondering why he and Orton were not in Rivalry of the Year. Yeah, it's a bit of an oversight, but... nice belly-to-back suplex by EO. I've lost hope in AEW since Double or Nothing, says Kieran. I think they've done some good stuff. I mean, there's been weeks... I think last week, for me, they were the better show. Only just. No doubt about it, this week, NXT is, you know, for the first 15 minutes, the better show by a good distance. I think this women's match has been very enjoyable. This multi-man match, not so much on AEW. Dakota up top with EO. EO, big strike, down goes Dakota. She's tangled a little bit here. Tree of Woe, not my favourite move. I never. Why can't she just get up and... I never understand that Tree of Woe thing. I never understand why they can't just get up and grab the person and throw them. Just another 2 count. Dakota getting a shoulder up. Should be a good match, that, actually. The EO Dakota match. I feel like that's what we're working towards when it comes to TakeOver 30. Ben... Shout out to you, my friend. The huge tag matches is why I can't watch AEW. I just don't like them, says Brittany Clark. SummerSlam needs to be in the AEW arena. AEW has got the best venue by far. Yeah, I agree. It lets a lot of natural light in, and you can kind of see the outside, and it's got a nice kind of feel to it. I agree. I agree. I mean, I don't know that SummerSlam needs to be there, but I agree that it's got a better feel to it than the Performance Center or Full Sail. Shining Wizard by Tegan. And EO going up top. She's in position for the moonsault. Ooh, lands it. It's a bit moody. Her legs kind of smashed right into the face of Candice, but EO picks up the victory. The genius of the sky. So, Tegan and EO, I got to tell you, I mean, EO did most of the work there. I don't know that I saw that much of Tegan in this match. Yeah, Dakota Kai has kind of abandoned Candice. She's halfway up the entrance ramp. So, good first match from NXT. We've got Jericho with Floyd, but Orange Cassidy grabbing Jericho and hurling him over the railing. We're still underway with this multi-person tag match. Here in Joplin, Missouri, a group of idiots beat up a dude wearing a mask in the bar. They literally beat him up for wearing a mask. The world's losing its mind. The world is losing its mind. Days, you should check out EO versus Tegan. Yeah, I never saw it. All Friends Wrestling have jokes such as Best Friends Joey Janela, and I personally think the Bucks and Omega are the most overrated wrestlers, says Kieran. Best Friends win. Yeah, Luchasaurus just picking up the... They're showing us what happened on Pat McCarthy. So, for any of you that wondered if it was a work or not, here you go. It's being shown on NXT. This regrettable incident being shown on NXT. Matt Hardy's here. Matt Hardy is Matt Hardy now. Matt Hardy has come out and said that he's not going to be doing all the broken different gimmicks anymore. He's abandoned all that now. Now he's just going to be Matt Hardy, which I've got to tell you, I'm so into that. I'm so into him just being him. So, yeah, he's back. He was meant to be doing a feud with Sammy. Obviously, Sammy went away for, his counselling, whatever. And because he's back, it means that they can redo that feud now. Dave says, work, yes. It's 100% a work. Great, here's the worst version of himself, says Brent. Oh, I don't mind him doing that. I mean, I'm not a fan of the 3,000-year-old Damascus stuff. I'm not a fan of the... I liked the broken thing. I mean, the woken. It was more woken, wasn't it? I didn't mind it in WWE because it was never presented as like supernatural. It was more presented as him being a split personality, if you will. So I was kind of more into it there, but him in AEW with the ability of changing gimmicks underwater and changing clothes in ice boxes and all this kind of stuff, teleporting and all of this, it's lost me. It lost me. So I just want... Matt Hardy is such a legend. I just feel that there's a better way of presenting him. So I had hopes for this real Matt Hardy thing. So I don't know. Let's see. There's not a great deal to judge it on there yet. I'm gonna reserve judgment. Both shows at commercial break. I think there's no doubt that NXT is the better show so far, as we said. But look, early. It's still early. We're not even a quarter of the way through yet. Why did they have to put Adam Cole in a stupid work? He is one of the best wrestlers in NXT. I don't know how many viewers the Pat McCarthy show gets, but it goes back to what I was saying of you need to get wrestlers out there to attract the lost casual fans. Now, Pat McCarthy is someone that obviously has got his own show. It must get decent views for them to be even interested in doing this. And obviously he's got like a football crowd. He's got a slightly different audience. There's a chance that that's a sports audience that could be convinced to come over and watch NXT. So to me, it makes sense for them to be doing this because they're doing the one thing I've just been spending a lot of this stream saying they should be doing, which is getting out there, going onto talk shows, going onto things, those kind of programs to try and attract these viewers that are lost. And I think that's what you're seeing. He's gone on to Pat McCarthy. I don't like Pat McCarthy, but if he's got a sizable audience and he can bring some of that audience to NXT, that's what they're after. And in order to get a great match out of Pat, you're going to need one of your best workers. You're going to need Adam Cole. So it makes sense to me. I can see why they're doing it. I don't like it, but it's not for me. That's the way to look at it. If that's the healthy way to look at it, it's not aimed at me. They haven't lost me. I'm here every week. So they've already got me, and they've already got you. They want the people that don't watch. Ryan Reynolds says, it's obviously a work. I just wish people could suspend disbelief and enjoy it. They did it well, and it was something different. Yes. I mean, yes, I agree they did it well. My only problem is I don't like Pat. So I just wish that they were doing it with someone different. But he must have a big audience. He must have a big audience. Right, we've got Moxley cutting a promo on AEW, and over on NXT, we've got, I believe, Johnny coming out now. So we must be going over to Johnny versus Roderick Strong now. I mean, what a match to follow up that open. So NXT seemingly not messing around this week. Not messing around at all. So, really good women's match, and I can only presume this is going to be a really good match between Roderick and Johnny. Okay, so Johnny has made his way down. We're just done with that Moxley promo. No Excalibur on commentary, by the way. It's JR, Tony, and Taz. NXT giving us 2 matches straight away, no promos. NXT is winning. Callian Corner, shout out to you, my friend. Miss Clown 1 says Matt Hardy was overlooked for years. I'm down for that match as well. I always like seeing the AEW tag champs in action. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page should be good. Cody Warhorse next. Cody versus that. Now, I'm interested in this. Let's see what this Warhorse is all about. I mean, look at this. This is Wednesday Night Wrestling at its best right now. Cody versus Warhorse. Cody against a great independent talent. Really great showcase for Warhorse. And Johnny Gargano against Roderick Strong. Here he is. So it is true. I do agree with what Tony is saying. This is really good how they're doing this TNT Championship. I agree. I mean, Eddie Kingston last week, that match was a really good match. Eddie Kingston against Cody. And I popped for that because Eddie Kingston from NWA is someone that we've been watching on NWA Power. And one of my favorite promos, guys, you know, he can cut fantastic promos. He's not the best in ring. He's like a brawler, but he's legit, man. He brings legitimacy. So I really like Eddie Kingston. So I thought that was great. And now, look at this. Now we got Warhorse. You don't see this from WWE. You know, you only see WWE, the same people week after week, the people that they've got on their books, the people that they've got signed. I really like what AEW are doing by bringing in some of that indie talent that's out there, you know? It's good. There's a really good chance that you'll see like someone like, say, Simon Miller from What Culture. I think there's a really good chance you could see him have a match against Cody for the TNT title, because they're just like picking up all this different fan bases, you know? People that are fans of Warhorse, well, come and watch AEW because he's going to be on our show this week. some of them are going to stick around. They're going to like what they see on the rest of the show, and they'll come back next week. Next week, let's bring in Simon Miller, and then What Culture fans can watch us. Maybe some will give us a chance that haven't watched before. Some of them are going to like it. They'll stick around, and then they'll watch next week. It's a really good way of growing your fan base, you know? Whereas with NXT, they're just obviously using the same people they've got under contract, and they're not really expanding so much. £4,000 of raw heavy metal. This is Warhorse. £4,000 of heavy metal. Did you see the clip of Warhorse and the turnbuckle incident? I didn't know. John says, great match on NXT. Oh, no surprises there. No surprises there. The only problem is I have to choose. And I have seen Johnny and Roderick before. I really do want to see Warhorse. So AEW is winning my attention right now. Which is a real shame. I wish this was a throwaway match that I didn't really care about. I'm good, thanks, Oisin. Hope you are well. Days, I will tell you the Boneyard one for best cinematic. Okay, cool. Thank you. Give Warhorse the championship, says Evan. Wow, let's see. Superfiend, shout out to you, my friend. I'm into both matches, says J14. So you should be. Days, did you hear that there's rumours WWE are going to give Divas a chance again? Evolution 2 apparently is on the way, yes. Warhorse has got like furry boots like Daniel used to have. Same colour scheme as well with like the burgundy. He's kind of stolen Daniel Bryan's boots. Head scissor takedown by Johnny Gargano. Roderick Strong in the corner. Quite a slow start here. No one racing out of the gates in this Cody Warhorse match. Find and tweet the secret. What's that about? Nice kick by Warhorse. Cody coming over. Grabbing Warhorse. Driving him back to the corner. Goes for a slap. Okay. Goes to walk away. Camera just went to on at the wrong time. And we missed what Warhorse did then. Warhorse throwing Cody to the corner. Goes over. Cody rolls over. Warhorse going for the pin. Nice arm drag by Warhorse. NXT has gone to commercial break, by the way, so you're not missing anything there. Quite a slow start, this. Warhorse still working on the arm. Becky Lynch is good. Did Excalibur get fired? I haven't heard that he's been fired. No, I've not heard that he's been fired. How many beanies do you have? I think I've got about 4, but I tend to only wear 2, if I'm being honest. I try not to wear them, like, all the time. I literally just have them, like, just before I start. The rest of the time, I don't tend to wear them. Cody goes out the ring. A bit of frustration on his face here. On just having a word. Says, you've got this. He gave Cody a chop to the back. Thank you, Monica. If Warhorse wins, it will be by a nose. Nice takedown. Warhorse grabbing the head of Cody. Cody kipping out. Cody going over. Against the ropes. Warhorse goes against the ropes. Clothesline. 1, 2. I gotta tell you, it's not grabbing me yet. I mean, it's still early, but yeah, it's quite simple stuff. They're just kind of, it's not gone through the gears yet. It's fine. It's still early. I don't feel like the commentators are really putting much into it. You know, if Mauro was commentating on this, I feel like it would have more about it. Like right now, there's been a good 30 odd seconds of silence. Maybe we're at commercial break, I don't know. I hope we are. I'm guessing we are. Because we're at about 40 seconds silence now. Cody landing on his feet. Warhorse going over. Drop toe takedown. Warhorse goes into the middle turnbuckle. We've got to be at commercial. Right, I've come to the conclusion we are at commercial break. Cody going over. Big strike. I do like the fact that sometimes fight go off when it's commercials. And then sometimes they just leave the action going. I don't know why. I don't know why they do that. Sometimes they go to a graphic and sometimes they don't. Cody climbing up top. We're back with NXT. Cody looking for a superplex to Warhorse. Big superplex. So, big superplex by Cody. Cody going over for the cover. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. You can see Cody a little more confident now. Doing a few push-ups. Arn saying, don't do that. Don't do that. Now's not the time for that. Good. Little bit of showboat in there by Cody. Cody was asked if he was a heel or a face. And he says that he's not really either. He doesn't really think his character kind of works that way. It's a little bit heel, isn't it? It's kind of do push-ups during a match. It's a little bit showboaty. Cody stomping on the leg of Warhorse. Warhorse backs into the corner. He calls Cody over. Kick to the midsection by Cody. Top rope enziguri by Johnny Gargano, who goes looking for that DDT, but gets caught by Roderick. Backbreaker. Backbreaker by Roderick Strong. Man, this is a long commercial break. Picture in picture. Here we go. Single leg Boston Crab by Cody. Here we go. We are back now. Single leg Boston Crab. Cody's belt's like up here now. He's sat on that Boston Crab and his belt's ridden up. They're just showing a replay of that superplex that happened during commercial. It's cool. Single leg Boston Crab. So Cody very much in control right now. Johnny is on the middle rope. Gets planted down by Roderick Strong. Cody going for the pin. 2. Warhorse getting on the offense here. I gotta tell you, this match still hasn't grabbed me yet. This Cody Warhorse match. I'm still not like totally being sucked into it. There was some nice work by Cody, but it's not made Warhorse look really anything that special. There's nothing that I've seen that's really made him like stand out from anyone else. But he's starting to get a bit of offense in now, so this could be his opportunity. Slides on his knees, chops, strikes coming in, clothesline, down goes Cody. Pace picking up a little now. Stomping away by Warhorse. There we go. It's Warhorse getting some moments now. Going over to the corner. This is my first time watching you. Nightly Daymare, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us as Cody slides out of the ring. Cody's outside the ring and Warhorse is on the edge of the ring. Nice double stomp. That was good. There's a little bit like Darby Allin-esque. Grabbing Cody, throwing Cody back into the ring. So, good double stomp there by Warhorse. Chops coming in by Roderick Strong. Warhorse up top. Elbow drop. Nice elbow drop. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Cody. Warhorse. Quite close there to winning the TNT Championship. And apparently that TNT Championship's going to be finished in mid-August. So a few more weeks and we should see it in its full-blown glory. It was a good elbow drop, that, by Warhorse. Quite fast-paced by Johnny and Roderick. Shoulder up by Warhorse. Cody almost getting a pin. Roderick getting thrown into a ring post. Watch NXT. That is where the fire is. Really good match on NXT, says Wrestling Days fan. I've got to tell you, of the 2 matches I'm watching right now, NXT is definitely edging it. This Warhorse one, I was super intrigued by it. Inside cradle by Warhorse, but he can't get the 3. DDT. Johnny managing to get it. Sunset flip. Strike to the midsection by Warhorse. Strike up top by Warhorse. Roddy versus Gargano is better, yes. Here we go. Basement drop kick by Cody. Johnny Gargano picks up the win over on NXT. Figure 4 leg lock by Cody now. Well, he was trying to get that figure 4 on. There it is. Figure 4 leg lock, middle of the ring. Warhorse in trouble. And Warhorse taps. I got to tell you, didn't do it for me. The Warhorse match didn't do it for me. I was hoping he was going to bring something that you just don't normally see. There was nothing there for me. It's kind of what I've seen from him before. You know, I said that I've seen a couple of Warhorse matches and they're all right, but there was nothing that necessarily grabbed my attention. And I got to tell you, I feel the same about that one. It's all right. It's passable. But do I want to see another Warhorse match? Not really. We got some Dark Order creepers coming in, attacking Warhorse. I think from what I've seen, Johnny and Roderick was the better match there. Dakota Kai says she wants the NXT Women's Championship. Here's Rhea Ripley. A blonde Rhea Ripley. Rhea says she's got a problem with Dakota saying she's next. Rhea Ripley's going to be a problem for Dakota Kai. Some interesting... Oh, is that Zack Ryder? Zack Ryder has debuted on AEW, so big news there. It was expected. I think when Zack Ryder didn't show on Impact, it was expected that he would go to AEW. And, well, there we go. So, big breaking news that Zack Ryder has actually made his debut, if you will, his first appearance in AEW. Coming to the aid of Cody. Cody just beating Warhorse, who was getting an opportunity at the TNT Championship. And then we got some of the creepers down from the Dark Order. And out of nowhere, Zack Ryder. I don't think we can call him that now, can we? That's his WWE slave name. So Matt Cardona, is it? I think his surname. He came down. Obviously, great friends with Cody. He came down. And that's probably the biggest moment so far of the Wednesday Night War this week. We've got a big debut, a big moment there. That's quite a big addition to the AEW roster. Of course, Zack Ryder had been in WWE for a long, long time. So, yeah, that's a big addition. Not the biggest surprise in the world. I think he was expected to go there because of him being such good friends with Cody. But, yeah, wasn't expecting it this week. I hadn't seen any rumors of it. But there we go. Big, big news. Big, big news. Zack Ryder in AEW. Any news on Ciampa? Matt Cardona. Well, look, as long as he knows what his name is, then that's all that matters. I'm mad he's not with Impact. I think because he wasn't at Slammiversary, kind of knew that he wasn't. But, yeah, big news, man. Big news. So, I still think NXT is ahead, but there's no denying that that's a big, big moment. Both shows right now at commercial break. The Internet Champ, yeah, it's quite interesting because he's got the trademark for that. So that means that he could be bringing that belt with him. So that's quite an interesting one. That is quite an interesting one. There's a good chance that that we do see the Internet Championship. So AEW at commercial break right now. Hopefully Cardona goes over Spears. That is an instant feud. We've got Tony Schiavone talking right now. Okay, he's talking about All Out. Jericho's come back out. Jericho fuming, apparently. What's up with Jericho? He says he's furious about what's happening with the Inner Circle. Matt was showing off a redesigned internet title on his YouTube. Was he? I didn't know that. Timothy Thatcher. Yeah, we've got Timothy Thatcher and we've got Dexter Lumis standing behind Timothy Thatcher. It's kind of interesting. Obviously, they're building towards a match tonight in that triple threat. It's going to be Lumis and Thatcher and Balor. Jericho's angry. Jericho is angry. So Jericho's saying that his jacket is ruined following all that orange juice that was dumped on it. Kyle is back. Kyle is back. Lumis creeping around again. It's what Lumis does best. We've got creepers over on AEW and we've got a creeper over on NXT as well. Dexter was in the background, he was. NXT is depressing, says Rathman. Okay, Shotzi in the ring. Shotzi Blackheart. Taking on Mercedes Martinez. Now, a lot of excitement around Mercedes Martinez because she very much is someone that is going to get some big opportunities quite quickly because she is not the youngest person in the world. So, yeah, I'm very excited for her to kind of get a bit of a push here. I'm expecting her to be going for like the women's championship quite quickly. I don't think that they're going to wait around too long. I really would expect her to go places, which is why I think she's going to drag the Robert Stone brand along with her and Aaliyah as well. So, I mean, this is really good for Aaliyah. This is really good for the Robert Stone brand. I think that Mercedes Martinez has got such an interesting look. She's like the Lady Jimmy Havoc. That's the vibe I'm getting from her. Mercedes is the next Shayna Baszler. Okay, we've got On and we've got FTR backstage. So we've got Shotzi versus Mercedes over on NXT. Bets on Robert Stone getting run over again. Oh, I reckon them chances are quite good. Robert Stone and Aaliyah talking trash to Shotzi. Mercedes jumps out the ring, starts beating up on Shotzi. Hangman Page has arrived at this meeting. Hangman with some whiskey. Robert Stone liking what he's seeing so far from Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes has got Shotzi in the ring. Nice small package there by Shotzi. Shotzi going over. Inzaguri. Shotzi running over. Nice kick in the corner. Shotzi trying to fight back right now. Struggling. She gets put up top. Roll over. Nice. Good work this by Shotzi. She's doing some good stuff. Gritted teeth by Shotzi. Determination by Shotzi. I've sent you what the new Internet Championship looks like. Okay. AEW is a bunch of storytelling. Hello to Coaster. Mercedes-Benz. Yeah, I did wonder if she might drive down in a Mercedes. I did wonder that. They might do that at like Takeover. Shotzi comes out in a tank. Mercedes Martinez comes out in a Mercedes. Hello to Beaver Cleavage. Hope you are well. Dave in Real Life says Shotzi and Ruby Riott should be in a tag team. Trevor says, Days, can you see Alberto Del Rio coming back at the Rumble? I would hope not. I would hope not. I don't think that that's something that would be a wise thing for Vince to do. I think there's better wrestlers out there. I understand that Alberto Del Rio is going to have a degree of name recognition, but I don't know that his name recognition is that big, that impressive, whereby it's actually going to make any kind of difference. So I personally wouldn't go that way. Just a little advert for the AEW figures. We've got Mercedes up top with Shotzi. This match going on a little longer than I was expecting, but I suppose they don't want to bury Shotzi because she's someone that they've spent a little bit of time building up. Mercedes Martinez going over. I mean, Mercedes Martinez against Rhea Ripley. That's going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to that. Two absolute powerhouses going at it. Mercedes Martinez, Shayna Baszler would have been excellent as well, yes. Unsurprisingly, Mercedes Martinez picking up the win. So, as I said, I'm not expecting them to wait around with her. I think they're going to push her quite quick. I think that she very much is someone that's... I can't remember how old she is. I want to say she's, 38 or something like this. So, she's got another couple of years. No doubt about that. But, yeah, it's not as if she's, 22, 23, and they can, take ages in finding the right story for her. They've got to pretty much start moving with her. I'm not sure. I don't know if she's someone that's going to go to the main roster. She might just, spend her time in NXT, to be honest. But she is definitely going to help that Robert Stone brand. She's going to be a big help for Aaliyah as well. A lot of excitement about her. I do like her. Keith Lee is coming next. Bask in his glory. If he's not in jail, he should be. Rhea is only 23, says Mustafa. Yeah, they've got, honestly, such young people on the books. Such young people that... a lot of their roster is very, very young. So, yeah, they've got plenty of time with a lot of them. It's why, it doesn't matter so much about Rhea, because they've got time. I mean, you don't want it to go drift too long. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that they've got plenty of time. So, she can, really figure stuff out. Right, we've got Hangman on his way out. So we are moving forward to Omega and Hangman Page versus Best Friends. So, Mercedes Martinez picking up the win on NXT. And for me, well, we're getting to the halfway point. I won't get you scores just yet. We've got another 5 minutes. For me, NXT's the better show. But I think the biggest moment is going to be that Zack Ryder moment. I think there's no denying that that's the biggest moment that we've had so far. He is limitless. Kenny shaved. has shaved. Kenny has made his way down. Gets jumped from behind by Evil Uno. Put best friends. It's not best friends, is it? It's Dark Order. Silly Billy. NXT has been doing pretty good so far tonight. Yeah, I mean, I think they've pretty much every segment has delivered, actually. I mean, even that Mercedes Martinez Shotzi, it was, you know, everything that it needed to be. NXT at the moment is at commercial break. Big boot by Stu Grayson in the face of Kenny. Kenny going over, boots Evil Uno in the face. Nice. Backbreaker. Days, do you think Rhea Ripley will debut on Raw or SmackDown after SummerSlam? I think there's a good chance because they are a little bit depleted, aren't they? I mean, they've lost Kairi Sane and they've lost Becky and Charlotte's out the picture. So you would kind of feel like they probably do need to build up their women's roster a touch. But I like the look of this guy. I like this guy. Where have I seen him? NXT UK? Ridge Holland debuts next week. Now, I have seen Ridge Holland in NXT UK. He's got a very much of a very Peaky Blinders vibe. I don't know if you've seen the show Peaky Blinders, but excellent show. It's all about Birmingham, which is where my family are from. It's all about Birmingham, like from back in the day, like around like the wartime. Sounds a bit dull, but it's very good. It's kind of like about gangs and stuff like this, and yeah, I'm getting that kind of vibe from him. An oldie street thug kind of a vibe. So Ridge Holland, I'm really into. Right, Keith Lee is here. So Keith Lee is going to address Karrion Kross. He's going to address him. He's not going to undress him. I don't want you to get that wrong. That's a very different show. Keith Lee in NXT shorts. Keith Lee says Dominic Dijak is a grown man that's going to be fine. Keith, yep. What is happening with the NXT tag titles? We're actually going to see Imperium tonight, so we should get some answers there. Oh, this is a fired up Keith Lee, man. This is a fired up Keith Lee. He says, you want my attention? Why are you doing all this? Beep. He puts the belt down. Oh, Keith Lee saying some stuff, man. Keith Lee is saying some stuff. I'm in this ring. I'm doing something you don't seem to have the balls to be able to do. Man to man. Man, Keith Lee's face like fills the screen. Calling him out. Let's go. Cameron Grimes. That's not what I wanted at all. That's not what I wanted at all. That's not what Keith Lee wanted at all. Cameron Grimes sounds like Brother Love, doesn't he? If he started saying, I love you, that would make perfect sense. Wouldn't it? It'd make perfect sense. I love you. Cameron Grimes says he's going to take that NXT title and go straight to the moon. Oh, Keith Lee's not messing around, man. This is not a playful Keith. Keith grabbing Cameron by the throat, hurls him into the ring. Big strike in the corner. Lights have gone out. Spotlight. This is good, man. There's Scarlett in red. Is she going out? Is she going to the opera? Go on, Scarlett! I don't know what you're going to do, love, but do it. Cameron Grimes tries to attack. So Scarlett's standing in the entranceway. There's loads of fog all around. Here's Karrion. He's on the big screen. What an episode. It's really good so far. Karrion Kross wants a shot. Or give me a shot, or we go the hard way, and you don't want to know what that is. TikTok. I'd love for Mia Yim to come out now and just punch Scarlett in the face. I'd love for Keith Lee to be a step ahead of Karrion. I'd love that. Where is Mia Yim? Why hasn't she come out and just punched Scarlett in the face? Realistically, I believe she would. Scarlett leaves. And we go to commercial break. Good, man. I've got to tell you about that. That was gripping. From start to finish, when Keith came out and he was so passionate and he was so focused, it really felt like he had something to say. And that's because he had something to say. So, yeah, I thought that was very, very good. Very good. Although, as I said, you know, there's definitely things in there that I would have tweaked and changed. I would have loved for Keith Lee to have been a step ahead. He had to know that they would have shown. I mean, he called them out. So, yeah, he probably should have had, like... I never understand this. I never understand when people just run down to the ring and they don't have a plan. It's kind of like when Dominic came down to the ring on Raw and he jumped in the ring and there was Murphy and Seth and he was just getting beaten up. Like, I can understand he was so angry at what happened to his dad, he wasn't thinking straight. But there's just example after example after example where you would think they'd be a bit smarter. Do you know what I mean? You'd think they would just plan that next step ahead. I'm going to go to the ring. I'm going to call him out. And then when he comes out, we'll do this. But it's the we'll do this bit that's always missing. But take nothing away. It was very good. Over on AEW, we're still underway with this tag match. We got Kenny running over, looking for a knee strike. Big chop coming in by Stu. We got Evil Uno down. Hangman outside the... Whoa! That was a great shot. That was great. Omega just hurled Grayson into the corner, but he actually went over the top. And they've got a camera on the ring post. And all she saw was Grayson just go straight past. Whistling past the camera. He's back up on his feet. But that was really funny. That was cool. It's like Superman. Went flying past. Nice power bomb there. Pinned by Grayson. Hangman in to make the save. This tag match in a decent place right now. Oh yeah, get your scores in, NXT 725, NXT 9.5, NXT 8 AEW 6, NXT 7.5. AEW 7.5. LeBron fan says AEW 725, NXT 7.5. Jerry Smith says NXT 8, AEW 7.5. Monica King gives NXT a 7, but AEW a 6.5. Sandman says NXT 9.5. Ryan Reynolds says NXT 9, AEW 6.5. John says NXT 9. Jay says AEW 6.5, NXT 7. Future Compilation says NXT 7.75, AEW 7. Chris gives NXT an 8 and AEW a 5. Austin says NXT 7.25, AEW 6.5. I think by and large we're getting the same kind of feedback that NXT is the better show this week. But this match is all right that they've got on at the moment. And obviously they had the Zack Ryder thing, which was huge. So, certainly not a disaster from AEW. Certainly not a disaster. Big splash by Grayson. He got mad air there. He was really high up. That was a huge splash. Obviously, we're building towards what I'm guessing is going to be the main event of Lumis versus Thatcher versus Balor on NXT. Knee strike to the back of the head by Kenny. 1, 2. Oh, kick out. Kick out by Evil Uno. We've got Brody Lee pacing back and forth. Hangman comes in with the lariat. V-trigger by Omega and done. Grayson tried to stop the pin, but he wasn't able to. So, Hangman and Kenny retain. I don't know what's happening. Brody telling Colt to leave. Is Brody gonna attack Kenny and Hangman? Oh, he's very upset here. Imperium on NXT. Brody shouting at Evil Uno. Striking out at Evil Uno. Smile on the face of Hangman Page. Brody Lee very upset. Hangman says he does think it's funny. I don't know who Imperium are facing. Imperium have arrived, yes. We want Volta. I don't know if he can travel, to be honest. Everrise, that's who they're facing. Young Bucks are here. The Dark Order is everywhere. Now you pay. Brody says to Hangman, now you pay. We've got a few creepers around now. There's about, what, 6 or so surrounding the ring? We've got FTR that have come down. So, Everrise against Imperium over on NXT. Everrise. It's the ninjas from Raw. Yeah, the ninjas are here. Right, let's change this graphic over. I was getting lost a little bit in that AEW moment, but it didn't... Kind of felt like it was building to something bigger. Everrise versus Imperium. Is Everrise a jobber tag team? Yeah, I'm not... they're very... I mean, they're very crisp, in all fairness. They can wrestle. I mean, they're doing some lovely tag team work here, working together. They wear the same ring attire. They've got a proper name. They... yeah, I mean... I think they're fine to be on the roster, but they've just not been really given a push yet. But I think they've got something. Just not a big fan of them because they've got no momentum, you know. But I think they could be something if ever they do give them some wins. Hey, look, here's Britt Baker. I like Britt Baker. Britt Baker says Big Swole is obsessed with me. I'm a role model. Okay, so Britt says, yes, you can have a shot at me, but only if you beat an opponent of my choice. Okay. Britt Baker. Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere, that Britt Baker thing. She's just kind of laid a bit of groundwork. Another commercial for the action figures. They're hammering these commercials. Days missed my super chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Getting my attention pulled in a few different directions. I think it was a little while ago. What did it say, dude? Let me know what it said, David, and I will keep an eye out for your comment. Rusty says Imperium is a Machine Head song. I didn't know that. I do like them. I do miss Volta. I do agree with people. Hello, we're going to hear from them, actually. Let's see what they're going to say. They might start singing that song. Oh, Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era. All 4 members have come down. Oh, does this mean we're going to get Volta? I don't know if there is travel yet between the UK and America. I don't know. This would be perfect timing for him to come out. But here they are, look, all 4 members of the Undisputed Era. Nice. Kyle back. Adam Cole says, we are the Undisputed Era. This is what happens. Good, man. No sign of Walter, unfortunately. Or Alexander Wolf. There's going to be repercussions there, though. There's going to be repercussions. They're not going to be allowed to get away with that. It's good, man. Where's Pat McCarthy? I don't know. Doing his show. Doing his show somewhere. Being smug somewhere. That's where he is. Tom Phillips. That's interesting. We're looking at Bronson Reed's journey. So it kind of implies that they are building him up. I like him. I do feel that there's... Well, I said earlier, I do feel that he's a bit low down the pecking order, but maybe this is the start of him moving up that pecking order. Right, AEW. We've only got 40-odd minutes left. This starting to pick up a bit of speed here. It only feels like a second ago you lot were firing in your half-time scores. And almost 20 past now. Sneaking towards the main event time. Right, Diamante has made her way down to the ring. She's going to be taking on Hikaru Shida. This, I believe, is non-title. NXT giving us a little video package on Bronson Reed, which is cool. Pat is going to replace Volta. Oh, what, you think so? You think Pat's going to be the new leader of Imperium? Makes sense. Because when I think of quiet, reserved dignity, I think Pat McCarthy. That's what I think. So, little video package for this Diamante as well. Pressure makes diamonds. Diamonds are forever. Here comes, I never know if it's Hikaru or Hikaru. I feel like Hikaru is like a kind of chicken. Do you know what I mean? How do you like to eat your chicken? Oh, I really like Hikaru chicken. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but Hikaru chicken is lush, man. They do it on a spit. And, yeah, it's really good. It's meant to be really good for your skin. Hikaru. I like to mix it up. Sometimes I say Hikaru, sometimes I say Hikaru. It's that whole potato thing all over again, you know. So, this is non-title. Hikaru, according to JR, he should really... And he knows, because he does the whole barbecue thing, doesn't he? So he knows chicken. So if he says it's Hikaru, then so be it. If it was Hikaru, I'm pretty sure he'd have a source for it already. Right, Diamante versus Shida. Let's just go with Shida. Let's just call her Shida from now on. Gets pushed in the head. Let's change over the graphic. Shida versus Diamonds Are Forever. Diamante. There we go. Should be all right. We saw this Diamante last week. She was all right. Pulling of the hair. Down goes Shida, who kips up. Nice chop. Shida goes down again. I think it's Hikaru. It is Hikaru. Oh, okay. There we go. We're learning stuff here. We're learning something. No way I'm going with my Japanese favourite, says Jonathan. Oh, hang on. Days. Rusty Holland was a former rugby player. Well, there we go. They did just show him, didn't they? Doing his rugby stuff. Doing his rugby things. Living that rugby life. Right, David Paul said it was about the finisher that Evil Uno and Stu Grayson have. It's called Fatality. Okay. Well, I'm very interested, David Paul. Very interested to see what they're going to do with those guys. Because, obviously, they've just had a bit of a falling out there with Brody Lee. So, not sure what the future's going to hold for them. I should imagine they're just going to have to, say they're sorry and, keep their heads down for a little while. I'm not sure that was them getting kicked out of the group, but don't know. David Paul also says, sweet, an AEW women's tag team tournament is starting Monday on YouTube. They did do a little advert for that last week, didn't they? Right, NXT at commercial break, but we are getting towards main event time. We've got Shida in control in this match against Diamante. Diamante, though, firing in some forearm strikes, and we've got Balor backstage. Again, they're trading forearm strikes back and forth, these two. They are going toe-to-toe. Kick to the midsection by Diamante, and there's Lumis in the background. Old Starey McGrew. The Shadow Stalker. Forearm strike by Diamante. Karu Shida against the ropes. Diamante against the ropes. Knee strike by Shida. Down goes Diamante. Oh, hello, Regal. Look at that grandfather clock. Of course he's got a grandfather clock. Regal says he won't be bullied into making matches. Regal says championship matches are always earned in NXT, so Regal is not being pushed around. Okay, we've got Isaiah Swerve on his way out now. I think this is going to be the sleeper match, if you will, before the main event. I say sleeper match. It's going to have some good action, but it's just not really bothered by these two. I like Isaiah Swerve, actually. I shouldn't be down on him. Isaiah Swerve's all right. I think they're giving him a bit of a new gimmick, aren't they, as well? Because we saw him in a recording studio last week. Nice. Stunner by Diamante. She goes for the pin on Shida. Shida just gets her shoulder up. Shida seems to be in a bit of pain here. So, I say a Swerve in the ring. Jake Atlas should be making his way down. I don't know what Jake Atlas is. I can't tell what his gimmick is. He comes down with this jacket. He looks like a game show host. What is Atlas? What? I don't understand. There's lots of things about him I don't understand. What does he do? What is he? Why is he wearing that jacket? I do like his... I don't know if you've seen it, but Jake Atlas can do a cartwheel on the top rope. And as he comes round and down, he grabs the head and goes into a DDT. It's a sick move, man. It's really good. I don't think it adds anything extra to the DDT at all, right? I don't think the cartwheel does anything. But it looks amazing. Might see it in this match. It's kind of a bit like, do you remember Ember Moon with her Eclipse and like how great that was? Her finishing move. I remember it was like you used to watch her matches for her to do the Eclipse. It's a great move. This is kind of like that. Shida gets the pin on Diamante. So Shida Getting that dub. Getting that sweet, sweet dub. Dub collecting. That's the worst attire ever. What? Jake Atlas's? I just want to know what he is. Like, what's his gimmick? What's he about? What's he stand for? If he likes sparkly things like his jacket, then why is his ring attire so dark? You know what I mean? It's kind of like he likes a little bit of sparkle, but he doesn't want to go too far. I love Ember Moon. Yeah, she's cool. I hope she's well. I've not heard anything about her. I haven't got a problem with Jake Atlas, but he does need some kind of a gimmick. My only problem with Jake Atlas is I don't know his gimmick. That's my only problem. I think wrestling-wise he's quite good. Shida, victorious, leaves. So this women's tag team tournament, the deadly draw rules. The tournament is a random draw. All competitors must draw a colour. Matching colours become a team. What? Selections are final and cannot be appealed. What? So you don't know who your partner is? But hang on, what about like Brandy and Ali? We're seeing the trophy. It's a big trophy. We've got some red carpet being laid in the ring right now. We've got Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. There's Brody Lee beats up the Dark Order on being the elite every week. Oh, okay. That's like his thing, is it? Well, I'll tell you now. 1 week, someone is going to lash out back. Here is... Is that Cameron? Ariane's here. Did we know that she was here? Did we know that she was part of AEW? Because I didn't. Did anyone know that Cameron had joined AEW? They've got one half of the Funkadactyls. What's going on? What have I just seen? What? Did you know this? Did you know this? Ariane? Yeah, look at this. People didn't know. I didn't know. She just walked in and went, I'm back. As if like it's not the biggest thing in the world. I don't understand. My brain is like trying to work this all out. She's been away for years. Wow. That's a really flat way of kind of bringing her back. Just a little backstage thing. I don't know, perhaps they think people won't be that excited, but little do they know that we've been doing Total Divas watch-alongs. So we're very excited. We're very aware of what her life was like in 2014. Oh, you want to ask me about Cameron's life in 20... I've got it all. Got it all. I know it all. She was thinking of getting a boob job. We know it all. We know about everything she went through. Amazing, isn't it? Cameron, OMG. Vincent. Oh, I don't even know if they're still together. I hope they are. I hope they're well. I think we might be at commercial break at the moment. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we are. I can't hear the commentators. But it's going to be MJF's promo. But big breaking news. Cameron is back. That's bigger than Zack Ryder. Cameron in AEW. Cameron in AEW. Total Divas are invading AEW now. It's amazing. Days popped more for Cameron than Zack Ryder. I did, and I'll tell you why. Because Zack Ryder wasn't the biggest surprise to me. I felt that he was coming sooner or later. He's too good a friend of Cody. So you just felt, I mean, the only thing I thought is that he might be tempted by Impact. It seemed like Impact were, offering some good contracts, picking up a lot of talent. So as soon as he didn't show at Slammiversary, it was game on. I thought that he might be like a TNT opponent, so I wasn't expecting him this week. But if next week had been against a mystery opponent, I think Zack Ryder would have been right up there. So Zack Ryder was a nice moment. No denying, it's good to see it kind of confirmed. But no one expected Cameron. No one expected Cameron. Total Divas. Total Divas. Girl, bye. Yes. I need some of that in AEW. Girl, bye. I need Vincent. I need it all. I kind of feel like she could bring some really interesting stuff to it. Like, I don't want to blow this out of proportion, but from what I've seen of season 1 of Total Divas, it was very much the Cameron show. Like, she literally put herself out there. She was causing drama. She was like the one that was, the most compelling, if you will. All the big storylines kind of were circling around her and Eva. They could go and get Eva as well, Because if you think of all the programming that they do, Brandy would love to do like a Total Divas kind of a thing. Total Divas ripoff. With Brandy, Penelope Ford, Cameron, go and get Eva Marie. Try and attract that audience then. Interesting, man. Interesting. I'm loving the tournament draw, says Chalmers. Brodus Clay could join. Somebody call your mama. Right, let's see what... we've got MJF is cutting a promo at a plinth. You look prettier when you do that, honey. She gives him a little smile. And in fairness, she does. She does. She does look pretty when she smiles. He says, we're grateful to the AEW fans. Hashtag not my champion and MJF 2020. Days, what if Eva Marie went to AEW? It depends how they use her. I mean, like, I'm not interested in seeing her matches. But, do I think that she could offer something to them if they did a Total Divas ripoff? Yeah, I think she could. A certain individual is afraid of being upstaged. It's time for a change in leadership. MJF is asking for change. MJF wants Moxley. Yeah. Is this a bit soon? MJF says Jon Moxley is not my champion. MJF says that Moxley's one of the great wrestlers that the sport has seen. So he's trying to put him over, but trying to make out that he's a bit of a dictator as well. Swerve wins. Yeah, sorry, Swerve has picked up the victory on that. I mean, from what I saw of it, it was an all right match. But there's no denying that nothing is going to compete. You could have Undertaker Sting on NXT. If you're going to bring back Cameron, that's the talking point. So Cameron on AEW, I really feel like they undersold that. MJF for president. Can we stop total swerves in the chat? Yeah, he mentioned Stone Cold. He's mentioned Stone Cold. He's made a reference to Hulk Hogan. Days Liv Morgan has said she might go to AEW soon. Good. Let her go. If she doesn't feel that she's getting anywhere in WWE, then yeah, let her go. Because in fairness, she would get somewhere in AEW, but it's currently a smaller pond. Up next, we've got that Lumis Balor Thatcher match. This man absolutely can talk. Why can't they focus on their show instead of WWE? It's all right. He hasn't referenced it too much. Main event next, yes. Does AEW have a Royal Rumble? No, they've got the Casino Battle Royal, which is where groups of people come down at different intervals. But no, Royal Rumble is a WWE match, so only they're allowed to do it. MJF says he is AEW. Okay, he says he's going to... He says he wants to take it to the next level, basically. So... quite passionate. So MJF is officially challenging Jon Moxley, and I don't know if it's not too soon. What do you think? Do you think it's too soon? 100% heel promo by MJF, yeah. MJF, new world champion. Wrestling Days fan says great NXT tonight. I agree. Mox MJF, give it to me. Seems like people are on board. MJF Moxley was leaked months ago, says Swamp Manor. They've somehow did Ariane debut better than Cardona's. We deserve better here at NXT, says Ducky Ducky. I loved that from MJF, says Super Speedway fan. I heard Ryder debuted earlier. He did. MJF Moxley All Out was the... Oh, I read that. Not now, but back in the day. MJF 2020. Let's go Ambrose. That was obvious. Let's go Ambrose. John thinks it's too soon. Super Speedway fan says MJF is going to take that title. MJF equals best promo. What announcer just called AEW NXT? I didn't hear that. I was reading these. MJF could win. He could win. I'm not sure he will win. He could win. We've got a debate next week between Jericho and Orange Cassidy. AEW Super Wednesday debate next week. Days, I have loved the stream. Shout out to you, dude. The Diva stands are going to be annoyed that Camera's in AEW. They're going to overrate her. Holidead needs to sign to a promotion. I agree with that. There's Total Divas tomorrow. I don't know. Is there any video of Cameron joining AEW backstage? I don't know. I don't know what AEW have got up, to be honest. Monica King, Matt's debut could have been done better. Maybe I would have popped more, but I did pop for Cameron. No, it's not too soon. They want a big all-out match. They need a match as big as that. Is it? I mean, maybe it's me, but is it big? I mean, MJF has been around since the start. There's a lot of love for MJF. I suppose it's bigger than someone like Brian Cage. But is Moxley Jericho rematch not bigger? Or what about Moxley Cody? Or what about Moxley Omega? I just feel like I could find bigger matches than Moxley MJF. And I don't know, MJF, I just don't feel like I've seen him much this year. Wasn't he out injured for quite a while? I mean, there's time because all out is September. So, you know, I mean, they've got August to like give him wins, build him up, make it a compelling story. So, I don't know. I'm not saying that it is too soon. I'm just asking the question. I don't know. It's certainly a big enough match for All Out. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. Right, we're moving to our main event. Lumis versus Balor versus Thatcher. Over on AE Dubs. We're at commercial break. Who won the triple threat? It's just about to start. Days, how did we watch AEW pay-per-views? I watch it on Fight TV. Thatcher on his way down, like Thatcher's jacket. Just standard. I really like Thatcher's ring attire. It's just really standard. I think I've said this before. Thatcher just written on the back. Lumis looks great. Thatcher looks great. I really like this match because you've got three very well-defined gimmicks. Do you know what I mean? Like, Thatcher is the old-school wrestler and he looks like it. Lumis is the absolute psychopath killer and he looks like it. Balor is just this pro, isn't he? He's just this professional wrestler, this moody individual. The Prince. The class act. Always carries himself with dignity. Coming down with a nice leather jacket, classy ring attire. The professional. The first Universal champ. Pointing at that North American Championship. It's going to be a good match, man. I don't know what that main event is for AEW. I can see Darby Allin coming down. So this must be the Tornado tag. So Darby and John versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. So it looks like Ricky Starks is in the main event. No way, man. Darby Allin and John Moxley versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. I wish they had an AEW game. Apparently it's on the way. What do you think of MJF? Cannot seem to buy into him, says Edwin. I think it's too soon. I think that he's still learning his craft, if I'm being honest. I think that he is excellent. I think he's got a lot of potential. I don't think that he's got the star power yet, because really he's only been discovered through AEW. And, he had great little feud with Cody. I say little because I can only remember the one match. I don't remember this massive back and forth. And then he just kind of went missing for a lot of 2020, which is why I'm so surprised they're putting him in the main title picture now, So, I don't know. I'm really torn on it, because I get it. He's a great talent. That's why I asked if is it too soon. Taz says, look at the deltoids on Brian Cage. He's got that FTW championship over his shoulder. I like Ricky Starks behind. Always smooth. Here we go. And Taz actually letting Ricky Starks talk. Ricky Starks coming from NWA. I'm young, handsome, and successful. I'm everything your baby mama wishes you were. That's a great line. That's a great line. Love Taz letting Ricky talk. Giancarlo says, Cornette said that Taz shouldn't stand in front of Cage and let him show his body, etc. Well, he's listening. That's exactly what he's just done. Young Astro says, I really want Timothy to win because he's my favourite NXT wrestler, but Finn is most likely to win. I really want Lumis. Do you know what? I was thinking this the other day, right? Why doesn't Keith Lee get a hold of Tim Thatcher and get him to teach him some catcher's catch can? I really like the idea of other wrestlers going up to Timothy Thatcher. Keith Lee could say to Thatcher, look, teach me some stuff, yeah? Because when it comes to wrestling knowledge, you are the guy. And what Keith Lee is doing is he is putting over Timothy Thatcher. Is saying, Timothy Thatcher, I'm the champ, but I'm coming to you for help. Do me that deal. I'll give you a shot at the title after as a thing. It gives Timothy Thatcher something, yeah? It gives you a match that you can do on NXT TV. You can do Keith Lee versus Tim Thatcher down the road on NXT TV, and it makes sense because we've seen how we've got there. It puts Timothy Thatcher over as the wrestling guy. It also is going to help Keith Lee get past Karrion Kross, because now Keith Lee's got his size and his power, but he's also got the bit of knowledge that's been given to him by Timothy Thatcher. I love that. I think that's tick, 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 tick. You know what I mean? So I'd love it if they use Timothy Thatcher that way. So I wouldn't have him win this match. I would have him help Keith Lee. And his reward is he gets a title shot after. I want Lumis to go. I want Lumis to be the new North American champ. I think Lumis with the belt is very intriguing. Very intriguing. Right, we are at commercial break for NXT. Days Ridge Holland is going to be in a triple threat next week, says Sean Rousset. DJ B Tazzy, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. I know you're back up doing your shows, aren't you? You can check out DJ B Tazzy's streams. They're back up and running. Not much time left, is there? I mean, like, we're kind of underway with this tornado tag match. I do like tornado tag matches. So it means that all four people are competing at the same time. So, yeah, it should be a fun main event. Lovely spear by Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks spearing Darby Allin there. He's a good talent, Ricky Starks. Brian Cage with a kick to the side of the head of Moxley. So, yeah, not long for this triple threat match, is there? By the time we get back, we're going to have about 8 minutes. There's Holland versus Priest versus Lorcan. Rockstar Anch says, let's go Balor. Okay, we've got Brian Cage back in with Ricky Starks there, throwing kicks and strikes at, I was going to say Ambrose, Moxley. Moxley backed into the corner. Here we go, they're hurling him into the other side. He goes chest first into those turnbuckles, collapses down. We are still at commercial break for NXT. Ricky Starks gesturing to the crowd that he's not impressed with them. Forearm strike and a big chop. Big club across the back by Starks. Forearms coming in by Moxley. I think we're about to go back to NXT. Darby Allin back in the action. Nice double stomp. Jawbreaker by Balor. Lumis tried for a drop kick, but Thatcher just stepped out of the way. So hopefully that is the last commercial break for NXT and we can really just get stuck into this. Of the two matches, that AEW match should be good, but this one obviously means a bit more. Inside Cradle by Balor. Winner is going to go to Takeover 30. Two up-and-comers. Two bright young things in there against Finn Balor. Didn't Brian Cage lose to Tessa in Impact? I don't watch Impact, so I don't know. Days, if Lumis gets the belt, can he have the chomper gimmick where he clutches the title and doesn't let it go? I suppose he could. I just like the idea that people are going to have to come after him. Do you know what I mean? He's got the title. So he can stand in the shadows and hunt people out, but there's going to be people that are going to have to come after him because he's got one of the belts as well, and I think that would be quite an interesting dynamic. I to be honest, I don't mind whoever goes through. Balor trying to work on the hands of Thatcher. Thatcher driving some knees into the back of Balor. Here we go. He's got Balor scooping him up. Slams him down. Drops the elbow. Lumis outside the ring. Only a 1 count for Thatcher. Thatcher going over. Knee strike to Lumis. Lumis goes down. Balor. Forearm strike. Replied back by Thatcher. They're trading blows in the middle of the ring. Same with Moxley and Cage over on AEW. Thatcher goes down on NXT. Thatcher back up, forearm strike. Balor back into the corner. Balor getting his feet up. Forearm strike, down goes Thatcher. They could maybe be a bit more imaginative with their offensive moves. There's just a lot of striking and forearm striking, and now Dexter's in. Dexter's joined the striking party. There we go. Running bulldog by Dexter Lumis. Pele kick by Balor. All three guys are down. Everyone's down on AEW as well by the looks of it. Tessa beat Sammy. She did, yeah. I don't know if she beat Brian as well. I actually, once she won the title, I don't know who she faced. Oh! Nice sling blade to Lumis by Balor. And Moxley was looking for an armbar. Watching this awesome match. Balor backed into the corner. He's pointing at Lumis. He's got him in his sights. I'm not sure where Thatcher is. Thatcher, there he is. Thatcher grabbing the legs of Balor. Pulling him over. Dragging him into the corner. Wraps his leg around the ring post. The pacing of this one is not quite right. I suppose that's the problem when you've got Thatcher and Lumis, who are both quite slow and methodical. Lumis slides out the ring. Uppercut by Lumis. He is hobbling a little bit. They are slamming Moxley through a trash can. Cage with a pin on Moxley. Darby Allin making the save. Against the ropes goes Thatcher. Spine buster by Lumis. Lumis looking out at the crowd. Balor has been dealt with. He's outside the ring. We've probably got about 3 minutes left. It's good, not great. Tessa did beat Brian Cage in Impact. I think she was defending the title, but I can't remember. Thatcher is awesome. Dragon Screw. Slap by Thatcher to Lumis. Come on, Balor, says Zycami. He's picked him up. Sidewalk slam. He's got the head and arm lock. Coup de grace by Balor. Lumis is down. Balor's trying to make the pin, but Thatcher's in there. Thatcher should be able to break it up, and he does. Kicks to the head by Balor. Thatcher with... I think he was going for a single leg Boston, but he's turned it into an ankle lock. He's dragged him back into the center. Balor trying to get over to the ropes, and he's dropped down now. Into a heel hook. Balor in trouble, and right behind you got Lumis going over. Lumis staring at Thatcher. So Lumis has got that. Is it called the Codes of Silence? So Lumis has got a hold on Thatcher. Lumis has won. Lumis has actually choked out Thatcher. Balor couldn't do anything. And it is Lumis that's going to progress. I think that's the right move. That's who I would have chosen. I think they've done a lot to build up Lumis. They've done more to build up Lumis than they have to build up Thatcher. Balor doesn't need it because you can put Balor on the card and he's a big name anyway. You can put Balor in any match and he's going to be a draw. There we go. I don't know about Lumis crawling on his hands. I'm not totally sold on that. Just watching him leave the ring there, I don't know. It's kind of cool how when he came in, is it called Silence? Codes of Silence or Silence? I don't know. Either way, he's put Thatcher out. Darby Allin in the ring with Moxley. I think they were victorious. Darby Allin pointing at Moxley. Darby Allin, I think, making his intentions clear that he would like that AEW championship. Could it be that we get Darby Allin versus MJF versus Moxley at All Out? Do you think there could be a triple threat? No, next week. Oh, there we go. Next week, Darby Allin, John Moxley. I can't remember that being announced before. Can I? Well, either way, they're face-to-face in the ring. So next week, Moxley versus Darby Allin, and that is the show. Get your thoughts in, get your scores in. What do you think? What do you think? Esteban says AEW 7725. Armando gives it a 10. Winston gives NXT an 8. Toy Bandit gives NXT a 4. John gives NXT an 8.75. Kristen, thank you for joining us. Alan Moxley next week. Darby pinned Ricky by using some thumbtacks. Okay. 87 Big Fan gives NXT a 7, AEW a 6. I do think that AEW started to close the gap. I feel that at the halfway point, the gap was quite wide between NXT and AEW, but I feel that AEW kind of closed it a little. I don't think that main event quite delivered. It was kind of built up quite big, and the match wasn't all that. You missed a moment on NXT where Lumis jumped over the top rope and landed on his feet like Ricochet did. Cool. Future Compilation says NXT 775, AEW 6.75. Lauren says Moxley versus Allen next week for the title, yes. William Hensey says Balor versus Eva Marie, book it. Jason gives NXT an 8, AEW a 7. Irene gives AEW a 10. Tyler gives NXT a 7, AEW an 8. Future Compilations gives NXT an 8, AEW a 7. We've got NXT 8, AEW 7.5 from Damien. Imtiaz gives NXT an 8, AEW a 7. I'm seeing a pattern here. Dave in Real Life gives NXT an 8, AEW. Is it a 7? No, it isn't. It's a 6.5. J14 gives both 7.5. Sunny Wolf gives NXT a 9, AEW an 8. Is it wrong if I tell a girl if she eats one more cupcake, her jeans might explode? I hope you've got a good relationship with that girl. I wouldn't say that to a stranger. Let's put it that way. John Cena Gamer gives NXT an 8. There's Undisputed Era against Imperium for the tag titles next week. Cool. Isn't Thatcher a submission master? He should have been able to have gotten out of that move. Yeah, I think, though, I do like the fact that he had a submission on, so it's like the worst time. If he'd been putting that move under normal circumstances, then I would say yes, he should know a way of getting out of it. But the problem was he actually had a hold on himself, so the way to get out of it, he probably needed to have got out of his move first, to have then been free to have got out of that one, and he passed out by the time he even got to that stage. So I actually thought the way that it was done kind of protected Timothy Thatcher. I thought it was applied very well, because it kind of, do you know what I mean, took him by surprise, and he was already doing something else at the time. He had like a heel hook that was applied, so he would need to have got out of that, got Balor off of him so that he could have escaped this hold. If there is an escape, I'm sure there is a way around it, but he was done. He was done. So I like the fact that a submission was applied and it actually won the match. It breaks my heart seeing submissions applied at the end of matches and people still get out of them. Like, what's the point of a submission if no one ever submits? So yeah, I'm not down on it. I'm not down on it. NXT 8, AEW 7.25. Right, okay, let's sort this out. I'm going to largely agree with the chat. I'm going to say, right, for me, NXT was probably a bit below average, but then we got, I didn't feel that the Warhorse match was all that. The first match I thought was pretty awful. So I thought that AEW really started off slow. Cody Warhorse, I was intrigued, but it was nowhere near as good as Johnny and Roderick Strong. I enjoyed Shotzi and Mercedes Martinez as well. We did get Zack Ryder in that first hour, so there was something. So for me, I think AEW was around a 6.75, something like this, but NXT was probably more around a 7.75, maybe even sneak into an 8, but that might be a touch high. Then I kind of feel like NXT just kind of stood firm, and AEW maybe just picked things up a little bit, maybe got to like a 7. So I've seen a lot of people saying NXT 8 and AEW 7. I'm going to agree that AEW is a 7. I've got to be honest, I'm not sure that NXT quite got to the 8 level. I don't know why I would be giving it an 8. But I'm not going to disagree too much. I'm still in that area. I'm going to give it the 7.75. I would go down rather than up, though, if I'm being honest. I'd probably go to a 7.5 rather than an 8 when it comes to NXT, but only because for me it would need to have that big wow moment, and I don't feel that I really got a big wow moment. If you think that we had Cameron on AEW tonight, and we had Zack Ryder on AEW tonight, we didn't really get anything when it came to NXT. We didn't really get any of those kind of moments. Yeah, but it was a really solid show. So last week AEW beat NXT. This week I think NXT was the better show. There's that debate will be stupid. Oh, the next week's debate. There was lots of returns on NXT. We did get Kyle back, but we had seen him on little vignettes, hadn't we? He'd been doing like some psychology kind of vignettes. Imperium were back after being away, but that was announced in advance. NXT was good, I agree. AEW 6.85, NXT 8.15. Bro, what are they doing with Balor? He just keeps losing. Well, I think this one made sense. I'm not down on him losing here because I think of the options. It makes a bit more sense for Lumis to go into this match than it would Balor, because as we said with Balor, you can put him against anyone and he's going to bring that star power. I agree, he needs to start picking up some wins. But he didn't win that match, but did he lose it? You know, it was Timothy Thatcher that passed out. Balor just couldn't get the win in that match. So I think Balor can come out and say that he never lost or whatever, and he'll definitely be on the Takeover show. I'm not sure who against, but he'll definitely be on the show. Just need to make sure he's got the right opponent and hopefully picks up the win. Dave in Real Life says, my problem with Cameron is outside of our chat that won't get the big pop. Yeah, I think that's why they brought her back the way they did. Because there's going to be a lot of people. You got to remember, she's been out of WWE for quite a while now. There's going to be a lot of fans that don't know of Cameron and those that do, but quite honestly don't care. So, yeah, I can understand that. But, hey, look, it's exciting for us. It's exciting for us. Cameron and Nyla Rose are partners in the tournament. Cool. That's cool. I think Cameron's actually... I think there's a lot of better additions they could go and get, but it depends what they want to do with her. I think she's a jobber. I think that she can put over people like Shida. I think she can put over people like Britt Baker and Big Swole. So she's a name that some people know that can come in and put over these women, right? So that makes sense. But as well as that, she does bring a bit of value outside of the ring. If you want to do a Total Divas-esque show, which they can do and just drop it on their YouTube channel, she's going to bring value to that as well. So I actually think that that's a smart business move. That's a smart business move. Texas Rangers fan 18, shout out to you. See Mickey 48 says, Days, is there a stage tomorrow? Do you mean stream? Not too sure, to be honest. I'm not too sure what we're doing tomorrow. Kind of just very much taking it a day at a time at the moment. So there's a good chance. I mean, there'll be a video or there'll be some. I mean, obviously we didn't do a stream yesterday, but I still managed to get like a video up about SummerSlam, which if you've not seen, I think is a really interesting video because it's got a lot of the latest news in there. So AJ and Undertaker info was in there. The info about the boat and the beach and all of that was in there. But I kind of threw in a few theories and ideas as well. And it was kind of nice to do that sort of video. We haven't done that kind of video in a long time. So I was really, really pleased that it had a really good response. I think there was about 7,000 people that watched it, or it was sneaking up to that the last time I saw. Which, if you think a normal stream on a Tuesday would probably do around about half that. So it seems that there was some interest in it. Maybe because it was SummerSlam. I don't know. So yeah, that was really cool, man. I really appreciate everyone that checked that out. Robin813 says, Days, who will win the triple threat next week? I can't remember who's in it. Ridge Holland, Oni Lorcan, and someone else, and I can't remember who the other one was. Might be a bit early for Ridge Holland, but I do like his gimmick. Oni Lorcan, I don't know. Who's the other one? Cameron Grimes, maybe? If it's Cameron Grimes wins. Cameron Grimes has been getting quite a few matches recently, so I think they'd give him the dub. What happened on NXT? Not loads, to be honest. We have got Imperium Undisputed Era next week. We've got Dexter Lumis winning that triple threat. Keith Lee. Very passionate promo from Keith Lee. That Keith Lee promo was fire. That Keith Lee promo was a highlight of tonight. That was really good. So, yeah, there was some good stuff, but not loads that was essential, which is why I think the score is maybe a little conservative. Oh, it's Damian Priest. Oh, Damian Priest wins that. Damian Priest wins that for me. I think you've just got to look at who's got the momentum at the moment, and Ridge Holland, you could say, might win because he's brand new and they might want to give him that showcase. But I don't know. I don't know that they would do that at the sacrifice of some of the other guys. Only Lorcan, I think he's just a guy you have on the roster to make others look good, to be honest. I'm not sure they'll put him in that match. Damian Priest is someone you're not going to want to leave off TakeOver. So Damian Priest wins that match. Damian Priest is the third competitor. Yeah. Hashtag Balor deserves more. Dave in Real Life says Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai next week. Should be good, man. Should be good. Hard one to call that because you would think it would be Rhea Ripley, but they've really done a lot to build up Dakota Kai. And obviously she's got that Irina Gonzalez who can cause a bit of mischief on the outside. So could be a heel win that for Dakota with Rena Gonzalez getting involved. Or is she called Rena or Raquel? I can't remember. She used to be called Rena, but she might be called Raquel now. Loved this stream. Yeah, Jerry, shout out to you. The Wednesday streams are the hardest ones to do because we're watching two different shows. I say that every single week. So I feel like we have a lot more fun, if you will, on Raw and SmackDown. Because this one's a bit more heavy wrestling talk, lots of theory talks, and what are we doing with this, and where are we going with that, and I think the wrestling is a bit more serious on NXT than it is on Raw and SmackDown as well, so that obviously comes across in the streams and whatever, but yeah, I enjoyed tonight. It was good. It was good. Some good stuff. Maybe WrestleMania 4 tomorrow. Do you know what? I think there's a really good chance of that, C. Mickey. I think there's a really good chance of that because I gotta be honest, WrestleMania 4 is one that I'm not too crazy about, but I really want to get to 5 because 5 was one of the first WrestleManias I ever saw. It is the first videotape I got, so I've got such fun memories of 5. And then obviously 6, you got Hogan Warrior. 7, you got Hogan against Sergeant Slaughter. 8, 9. I feel like once you get past 4, you're starting to get into some good stuff then. So, yeah, we might just... I mean, there's some all right matches on 4. It's not a total disaster, but, yeah. You know what I mean? It's not one that I think you go into bubbling about, really excited for. So, there's a good chance we do it, get it out the way, and then we can get into some really good WrestleManias, because I love 5. I really love WrestleMania 5, and I think everyone loves 6, Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior, so... Great stream, says Wrestling Days fam. Dave in Real Life says, enjoyed this stream. I hope you are going to stream tomorrow. I think I'm sold on the WrestleMania 4 thing, so I think we'll go that way because I do want to keep chipping through them and I do want to get to some of those later ones. So, Impact was good yesterday. Good. And that's it. I think we are done. Can we do Royal Rumble 2001 one day? To be honest, I don't know what we're going to do with like the members stuff. I kind of feel like maybe we should be doing SummerSlams at the moment. We did a SummerSlam the other day and that was quite fun. I would love to do 2005 because that's Shawn Hulk Hogan. So I'd love to do that one. And then, of course, we've never sat down and watched SummerSlam 92. Oh, no. Now I'm thinking we should do a SummerSlam instead. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the members to vote for tomorrow's stream. So we will do a stream tomorrow. I'm going to quickly put a poll up, get the members to vote for that. And then we'll see what it is. Done. Lovely. Right. I am off. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed joining us, sharing your thoughts in the chat, watching both shows. Did the best we could. I know that we missed things. We did the best we could. But at least we saw Cameron. That's all I care about. Could you imagine if I was watching that and I completely missed Cameron? I don't know what I would have done. I would have been heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken, but don't need to worry about that. So awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching and hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.